Hello, welcome back to the stream, or back to Of the Devil specifically. I'm Talon Shabir. We've got Luke over here.
Hello.
Yeah, I did want to mention a couple things before we start. First of all, you may notice in the chat there's a donation link. I'm joining a fundraiser to support the Women's Foundation of Minnesota to, you know, I'm sure you guys know about the shit that's going down there. So I don't think we need to go into all those details here, but if you want to do something to help out.
Don't you just hate it when you play a game about the militaristic grip of the law enforcement? You know, just this nice little sci-fi fantasy that has nothing to do with reality, and then bam.
Yep. But yeah, it's not fully set up yet. I haven't made like any official announcements or anything, but I figured I'd just give you guys the link anyway. I'm still working on figuring out donation incentives and stuff, so if anyone wants to recommend anything, I'm open to suggestions. If we want to do some sort of like special stream, like check out a game that I wouldn't normally play, or I don't know, do some kind of challenges, whatever it is that kids do these days. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever kind of silly ideas you have. Maybe even something of the devil related. IDK. Anyway, I'm still thinking about it. You guys are free to offer suggestions. The other thing is that we're probably finishing the game this week, soonish. So the next stream after that is going to be Of the Devil art stream. So get excited for that. If you have anything you want me to draw for that, I'm also open to ideas. So, you know, let's be ready for art stream time. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I guess that's it for announcements. Yeah, game. Cool game. We're in the middle of trial. So it seems like
God.
Sato has returned with whatever kind of findings she has in her updated autopsy report. I mean, we're expecting to, you know, just figure out whether Miller was killed by sword or by knife, but I have a feeling there's going to be more to it, that she's going to find something a little bit more interesting than that, but
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
We still don't know why the knife was disposed of.
Yeah, there might be something that happened to it, yeah.
Interesting thing to do, since it didn't have like some secret third person's blood on it.
Yeah.
Which was my working theory until we actually tested the blood.
I mean, maybe it is. It's just that third person had the same blood type as
blood type.
Two. Like, but yeah, it sounds like we can't figure that out at this point.
Yeah, it's like if we want to go through profiles and at least see, because right now I think it's got to be Rogers or Murray, or maybe we can toss Hana Kim in there as like a dark horse.
A little bit short on suspects at the moment.
Yeah, it's like, so obviously we've talked about like Rogers is so suspicious on account of just like, Guy is the one cop who was on the scene of the crime and says he saw our client do it.
He was, you know, our first pick from the very start. Maybe it'll be like the first case where it's like,
and then he seemed like an idiot.
Come back to the first idea.
Yeah, it's so weird because like,
I feel like I wanted to go back to his original testimony just to sort of see why he came off as so harmless and like how feasible it could be that it was just an act, because like a lot of the stuff we're going off of for, you know, the story is purely just his testimony. So if there are other lies that he's fed us, then that could overturn everything
now,
we know.
His testimony really contradicts Han's, and I guess we have apparently decided that Han is telling us the truth.
Yeah.
So that could be explained by him lying.
Yeah.
But the thing that weirds me out is why he said that the big loud noise was the reason that Chopin went off on his own and was like, oh, pincer time. That doesn't make a lot of sense as a lie to say, because it's the only reason that we knew that Han was on the scene in the first place. It's the whole reason we got her testimony. It's the kind of lie where it's like, for me, I was kind of expecting somebody who is the killer and lying about it to kind of be countering the contradictions we find. Like, oh, this seems like a contradiction, but it's actually not because of this reason. Because they want you to believe their story. They want you to believe the lie. So the fact that, like, we pointed out so many contradictions and he's like, oh, hey, you're totally right. That is a contradiction. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the thing that makes me vibe like he's innocent, but it could be a really good act.
Yeah. It's hard to say
Murray is suspicious and she has a tie to the scene, but also I think that we only even got to like play the business card because that was like a specific piece of evidence that we found through searching. It was like, this is an unlockable
like
dialogue thing.
Piece of evidence.
So I'm not sure they'd hinge the murder mystery on that. I guess they could be really punishing if they felt like it. But she is somehow involved and connected to this, and the fact that we haven't even touched on that yet is so weird. We would absolutely have to prove she was at the scene of the crime first before we could do anything.
Yeah.
Because right now, that's a huge hole in that argument. I was like, I just wanted to bring up Hana Kim because, like, we did establish last time that she has a direct connection to the building because she's the one who controls Sionis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think we have to struggle to come up with reasons why Hana Kim would murder a cop who was threatening Sosuke. Yeah. Frankly, it's like, if she was on the scene of the crime, then absolutely she would have just killed him anyway. She would have just killed him. Like, I don't think she would have needed a well thought out reason, but that does require her to be on the scene of the crime. We also don't know that, but I'm like,
she probably would have tried to do more to like make sure he doesn't get framed like this. Well, I don't know how much she could have done realistically, but this did leave Sosuke in a pretty bad spot.
In a pretty bad spot, but I would say as the Dark Horse theory, that is good for the Blue Bloods because it puts pressure on him to reach back out to them. The worse the situation he's in that they can rescue him from, the more this could eventually work out in their favor. In that case, she's definitely underestimating Sosuke's stubbornness. Yeah, we would need so much evidence for these theories, which is so weird. It's like Rogers is just like, he's just there. It's not hard to place him at the scene of the crime. We just got to figure out why he was lying to us.
Yeah. All right.
So, hey, really quick on the subject of evidence, because, like, we've got these theories, we've got these, how do we substantiate them? Last time, one of the things that was weird, and you can hop me down from the little cigarette location. One of the things that was weird was the bit where Morgan calls attention to Sosuke's birthmark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you doing that? Because, like, it's not a secret identifying blue blood thing because he's got the DNA, you know? We don't need a secret identifier. But, like, could you pull up profiles for a bit? So, like, Sosuke, you know, we've had, like, the picture of him without all the, okay, no, the picture has the injuries, that's wild. Yeah. But, like, now that he's got the bandage off, we see that he had a birthmark, like, right underneath his left eye.
Yeah.
Can you pull up Makoto's?
Yep.
Yep. I'm like, oh, god damn it, guys. So, that's a weird thing. Can you also, I genuinely could not figure, I was looking at Murray's profile pictures, but could you pull up Murray? Because it's really hard to see with the angles she's got, and she's got the glasses. But I was looking at
birthmarks
her...
actually, because I noticed, like, in her, you know, kind of like straight on view, it looked like she had, you know, some kind of like decoration on her glasses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
But
this
when
view,
she
it's like
tilts it,
it's clearly placed differently than it is in the frontal view,
yes.
which leads
And
me
it's
to believe that they
interesting
are actually
because
marks on her face and not on her glasses.
birthmarks under the left eye, there's 2 dots instead of 1, which is weird. And I'm just like, my brain right now. The thing, so like Sosuke having a birthmark is at least notable enough that we got to bring it up in that cutscene.
Yeah, it's going to be relevant,
and we've got
clearly
2 blood
Yeah.
Ikarias who have these birthmarks. Now I checked the when Daisuke was talking about Sosuke's mother, the flashback. The image of Sosuke's mother in that flashback also had the birthmark. Like she looked exactly like Sosuke, basically. I don't think it was an image of like baby Sosuke, because I'm like, that looked like an adult. That looked like a grown adult. I don't think. So if that flashback is an accurate assessment of what Sosuke's biological mother looked like, then this is a genetic birthmark, and it comes from her side of the family, which rules out some potential options. Like the one that was going to be like, I was just like, show me this fucking picture. I'm going to flip a table if this... And we look at Daisuke now. Because Daisuke does not have that birthmark. And I was like, if that was going to be the case, I was going to start throwing things. But he doesn't. But his daughter and his grandson do. And I'm sitting here like, are we gonna have to dust out the Romeo and Juliet theory? Like, is Sosuke gonna be biologically a blue blood and an Ikaria, and that's how the whole debt to the family thing gets like flipped on its head? Because his whole brainwashing thing is about like, oh, they didn't have to take me in. They didn't have to take me in. They did. They raised me. They taught me how to walk and talk and everything. And so I owe them forever, blood of the covenant and all that. And I'm like, but what if it's just womb water all the way down? What if that's just like a distraction? You know, what if it's just Sosuke, you're gonna have to like decide things for yourself instead of going with the people you think you owe the most. So that one's wild. I will say that this game is very like birthmark heavy. Like another character who has a birthmark is Detective London. Who clearly Detective London is a secret biological Ikaria
Who is
and
also
an
an
AI,
yes.
and a serial killer.
Incredible.
He is the axis on which the universe turns. He is the alpha and omega. He will be the final boss. He'll be trying to frame Morgan for all of his serial kills. It's gonna be great.
Amazing.
So I'm just sitting here like, the second there is any hint that flashback was screwy, I'm gonna be like, Daisuke, what the fuck did you do, man? Daisuke, what the fuck?
Interesting. Oh boy. All right. I guess let's get into the game and see what the heck is gonna come to light.
What the heck? Oh god. And yes, not Jack. I keep calling him Jack because that's the fucking author. Detective London. Yes, he's also the huntsman. He was hidden in plain sight the whole time. Yep. He's like, damn it, Morgan, I waited like 5 extra minutes to get my no mask and all of this shit happened. He's like, I know it was you. I've been on to you from the start.
Speaking of though, what if Rogers is the huntsman? Or like was replaced by the huntsman or something? That would explain why he's such like a mastermind.
Yeah.
If he is the murderer a liar.
I'm going to be vague on the where, but I've seen precedent for that in similarly genred games. I'm being vague because I don't want to spoil it for people who in the chat haven't played the particular thing. If I name the game, it'll kind of give a lot away. Yeah. But no, that's actually a good point, because like if he's imitating a fucking loser, then he would act like a fucking loser.
Yeah.
But the specific thing was he kept failing his marksman test.
Yeah.
Except for the most recent one where he got exactly enough to pass. Which would
That's a good
definitely be a
point.
thing if I was an expert assassin who was pretending to be a cop who wasn't allowed to carry a gun. I, too, might shoot exactly enough to pass so I could, do things without making people all suspicious. I will say the thing that's interesting is like, how would you get away with that in like a super DNA biometrics space future?
Well, seemingly that's what makes the huntsmen
Seemingly
so
that's what they
scary,
do,
that they
yeah.
can just
So
become anyone and
they can
anything.
just become anyone
Yeah.
from the lowliest police idiot. So yeah, it definitely would be a thing that would be a potential reason why he did that katana murder. He's like, hey, the safe's opened. Did you take my no mask? I'm gonna stab you for it.
Kitty has arrived.
I think
So cute.
so. That's a possible theory and might square the circle with like Rogers feels very genuine, and I think it would be weird if this like, because I think part of it also was just if it was just Rogers did this because he's an idiot corrupt cop, I would be expecting that idiocy to manifest differently. But if it's like it's because he's a secret assassin who just replaced the guy, that does explain some inconsistencies.
Yeah. All right, let's get going. We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
Phew, lots of news to break. I'll leave the interpretation of the good and the bad to you two. That's cool. Just imply I'm the ugly. It's fine. Counselor Morgan's hypothesis stands. This knife matches Miller's entry wound. Well, how about that? And it matches the wound better than the katana, considering what we discussed yesterday. I'd be ready to say this is definitively the murder weapon used to stab Miller.
Hell yeah, updated autopsy.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I've had no more luck with DNA testing than Sarah did.
I even tried licking it. It didn't work for some reason.
You weren't able to get anything. I wonder if that's going to imply that whoever threw the knife away did more to it than just throw it in the fire. Nothing in the range of admissibility.
When has that ever stopped forensics?
However, like Sarah, I was also able to perform blood type analysis on the blade.
Is there a secret third blood type?
Uh-oh. And
Secret
while I
third
also
blood
found
type.
AB negative and B negative samples on it, I found one more blood type as well. A positive.
Who's our overachiever?
Who would we hate? It's 80, clearly.
80, yes. So, I mean, yeah, Chopin
Yeah.
has a
Let's
positive.
take a look
He's
at other
an
people just in
overachiever.
case.
Yeah,
Alright,
just to be
these
sure. We know
guys.
Krieg is a universal donor. Diamani! We trusted you!
Not Kim.
Wow, only an A minus for the illustrious Icaria heir?
Uh-oh.
Hooray! Okay, we've got to check Rogers though. We can't rule Rogers out yet.
Well, at least I didn't get any blood on it.
Yay!
Nope.
EB negative, unless the assassin has A negative, has A positive.
Yeah, that would be something. Not Sarah, thank goodness.
Thank
Okay,
goodness.
Sasuke obviously was already there. Yeah, so we've got...
It's still worth ruling people out. Murray is pretty damning.
Yeah, we've got Murray, we've got...
What's
Giamatti.
Sasuke's blood type again?
It's AB negative, I think?
Yeah, because he's the AB negative.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't remember enough about high school biology.
All right, so we've got 3 options. Interesting.
Okay, so wait, Chopin, Murray, and who's the third one?
Diamante.
Diamante, right? Yes, Diamante.
We don't have any reason to think he would be here, but
No.
he does know that...
He did send us after the no mask.
He does know about stuff.
He was asking us, hey, Morgan, how'd it go?
That would be a twist.
He could have been like
it's
Morgan,
not impossible,
why did I
but
come
it's a
there
stretch.
and find a whole bunch of bodies. No, I don't genuinely think it's Diamante. That would be so funny, though.
Can't rule it out, though.
Can't rule it out. So that suggests that either the knife was used on Chopin, which could be a reason to toss it away, because the thing,
if they're trying to pretend that, you know, the sword was used for murder. Then,
I'm not sure why they would do that, though. Like, okay, so Reyes, in her drunken shoujo stupor, told us that both bodies were lying on the floor, which I think is eventually going to be like they were piled on top of each other, which is not going to be possible if Chopin had the katana driven through him. Because that would have blocked it. But if he just had a knife, which we've already established is basically the same size as the katana.
Yeah, but what is the length of, or rather the, what's it?
Yeah, we haven't gotten an updated knife thing. Obviously, the katana is much larger, and it was stuck in the floor. But, yeah, it just says thick. Not how long it was.
Did it say that the stab went straight through him? I think so. The stab went all the way.
They have said so, and we know that the sword
that is also, like, the sword was found in him, right? But it could have been stabbed in afterwards.
The floor. Yeah, and in fact, the fact that this autopsy says stabbed and crossed out and impaled could be that Sato's like,
what does
the actual wound is more consistent with a regular stabbing, but this sword was all the way impaled through him, so I guess it has to be that. So he could have been stabbed with the knife.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that gets me is you wouldn't need to swap the knife out for the sword to frame Sosuke.
Yeah.
Because if he's the only one on the scene, they'd just be like, well, the knife was closer or whatever.
Yeah,
so
like
either they thought they needed...
so like his fingerprints would be on it and whatnot.
Would be on it. No, that's a good point, yes, because that's why you want to get the sword in it, because that's the one that has the most incriminating. Okay. So then they need to toss the knife, because the fact that the knife has Chopin's blood on it is incriminating. So given that, we can't place Murray at the scene, but it's weird.
Surprised Morgan.
3 people cut with 1 knife? This can't be hygienic.
Is that what you're worried about? 3
yes.
people. Well, I guess not all of them
I care very
killed,
seriously about hygiene. Do you know how these illnesses spread?
As long as you don't stick it in your mouth, you should be fine. Poor Sarah.
Poor Sarah.
A positive blood? Who was there that night that had A positive blood?
I mean, it's gotta be Chopin in this case, yeah.
Your Honor, these findings would bring a rather alarming fact to light. I feel like we're making an assumption here, and it's gonna turn out to be wrong. We can't jump straight to... I mean, obviously that would be the only one that she would think of, because she has no reason to, like, suspect that Mireille was at the scene of the crime, but...
Yeah, it's like, at the very least, if it is eventually going to be Mireille at the scene of the crime...
We're not there
At this
yet,
point, we've got to go with Chopin.
For sure. If Dr. Sato believes that Miller was most likely stabbed by this knife and not the katana, that means that this knife was also the source of Miller's blood on Sosuke's bindings. So either my client killed 4 men while cycling between a gun, a sword, a bat, and now a knife with his wrists tied together.
Sosuke is an action video game protagonist. He just kind of like
ever stopping
rotates
to
through the
cut his
weapons.
bindings. Or he was still in captivity when the Blue Bloods were killed. But wait, that almost sounds like an alibi for 4 of the 5 murders.
That is not an alibi, Your Honor.
What is this music? Why is it
It's
so
jazz,
goofy?
baby. It's a casino.
Of the
High
Devil May
roller.
Cry. Merely an increasingly strong shadow of a doubt.
The jury can decide that for themselves. The facts surrounding Tariq Chopin's death still stand.
It's so funny how that's the only
they?
murder that matters. The only murder that matters.
You are all just drug dealers. We don't give a shit. We throw you a parade, actually.
Yeah.
Sosuke Ikaria was the only living individual in the room Chopin was killed in. Sosuke Ikaria is the only person with his fingerprints on the katana. Something he corroborated with his very own testimony just a short while ago. And the defense's theorized fleeing suspect has already been revealed as incapable of committing any of these crimes.
I think this is
Has
where we
she,
say
though?
that it was actually the knife.
Yeah, the knife did it. The knife did it.
Yes. But unfortunately for the people's case against my client, there is evidence that completely overturns our understanding of how Chopin died.
I present to the court this drunken rambling from Reyes. All right, knife time.
Where did we put it? I guess we just click on it. Oh, just here.
The knife that Dr. Sato just confirmed was used on Miller?
Very likely used to kill Miller, yes. But definitely used to kill Chopin.
What? What are you going on about?
Blood typing. Chopin is the only victim with A positive blood. Even my client, Sosuke, has AB negative blood. But Dr. Sato just told us that A positive blood was found on this knife.
That blood could have come from...
Mireille, clearly.
Yeah!
Miller with a single fatal wound identified on his autopsy.
Chopin's blood was all over that scene. The knife could have fallen into it at any point.
Check. Not at any point, no. This knife was removed from the crime scene and never seen by the arts. That means it had been moved into the alley before Detective Reyes arrived on the 3rd floor. Yep.
Yoru has never taken an innocent life ever. It's never done anything wrong.
The sword is innocent!
But Yoru, justice for Yoru. But Chopin was impaled by the sword. We've all seen it.
Yes, but not fatally.
How could that stab wound not be fatal?
Because it was post-mortem.
Anything's non-fatal if it's post-mortem. You're basing this on the blood?
Usually closely follows a stabbing, yeah? It's the amount of blood, Your Honor. An impalement doesn't leave much blood at the scene because the weapon acts as a stopper.
And it was stuck in the ground. Sosuke couldn't get it out.
I assumed the amount of blood at the scene was the result of the sword being jostled afterwards, because the wound had been aggravated. But this knife turns that idea on its head. Wouldn't there have been quite a lot of that blood on the sword? How did Sarah miss it? Come on, Sarah. Yes, Chopin was stabbed in the heart, from behind, but it was most likely with this knife. He collapsed on the floor dead. Then the knife was removed, and his corpse was impaled with a sword in the same wound, leaving a mark on the floor. The sword was only then moved around, increasing the wound size and masking the initial knife's entry wound.
While utterly soaking the floor in blood. It's a possibility.
If I may, Your Honor. This may be just a possibility, but it's the possibility that makes the most sense to me. It explains the irregularities with the victim's substantial blood loss, the pattern of the wound, and the indentation on the floor.
Yeah, it was like as soon as it's like, oh, the knife was stabbed in the floor, it's like there's something funky about that.
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't lying down when he got stabbed.
Yep.
It might make medical sense, Dr. Sato, but the sequence of actions you described are not those of a rational human.
But wanting to frame Sosuke for the murder seems pretty reasonable. And stabbing the corpse with his katana would be the best way to do that. I mean,
Let's see.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
What are our span rays?
Yeah, it does seem like they wouldn't need the katana to frame Sosuke.
Yeah, they didn't. It helps.
What happened?
I'm actually a little surprised that those are the rays, and maybe it's because the knife had Sosuke's blood on it, which like at least confirmed that he had it, you know?
I don't know, I kind of feel like they would have been able to frame him without it.
Yeah, like the fingerprints thing is a really good point, and I think it's gonna come up. But like, I don't know. And again, it's weird that normally the more assertive thing has been associated with the raise option. So it's interesting
that we're
it's
like contradicting Sato.
Yeah.
Stay is to agree with her, and raise is to be like, no,
But-
wait up.
But also, this is the thing where, like, we're contradicting something that's good for our case. It's one of those classic Ace Attorney
That's why it's
blunders.
risky. That's why it's a raise.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, the blood, I think, is a... You know, the fact that it has Sosuke's blood on it would be the, oh, Sosuke had this knife.
I mean, I guess it
because
depends
it's got his
how
blood.
intensely they expected people to look into it. If they expected just like a surface reading, then obviously like the killing being done with Sosuke's katana makes it obvious that it was Sosuke.
Katana looks better
But
for
like,
the optics.
yeah,
But like,
if you continue to
Maybe
like
this is-
investigate things, you know, leaving the original
Maybe-
murder weapon would be more convincing and leave,
I mean,
you know,
maybe this
less
is how
evidence
we
of cover-up.
segue. Maybe this is how we segue to Murray was on the scene. Maybe there's 2 A positive bloods on it.
Hmm.
I feel like
wanna try raise, but
I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's like they didn't strictly need it. So the question would be like, why did they do it if
why
they
did
didn't
do
need it?
Exactly.
Which is what we want to get on. So
Let's try it. Nope. 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 I'm sure it occurred to them that the sword would point to Sosuke. If their primary goal was framing him, all they'd have to do is put the knife in his
Yeah.
hands.
he was in kind of a fugue state.
Ah, that's true.
Swapping out the murder weapon and disposing of the knife is 2 to 4 times as much work.
Yeah, exactly.
She has like a list of this, like it's maybe 3.6, definitely not more than 4 times as much work.
She has whole spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets, yeah. That many more chances to make a mistake. It's nonsensical.
Stabbing Chopin's corpse with the katana didn't help them frame Sosuke. I don't know, maybe it helped them.
Maybe they did leave
Remove
DNA
the
on the
evidence of-
knife. They needed to get rid of the knife.
So
Yeah,
what did
this
it
is
achieve? He made a big mess. Some poor schmuck would have to clean up.
of course the janitor did it to make more work.
Yes, that's... I mean, yeah, maybe.
It got
to
all
cover
over
up...
the document.
Yeah, exactly, the documents.
The documents.
Chopin's blood nearly destroyed all the red ink dots at the scene. But who says that's a coincidence? What if Chopin was stabbed twice? Just so that his blood would cover up the red ink dots.
This is insane.
Makes sense to me.
No, not your logic for the stabbing. This idea of yours that Tariq Chopin was part of some kind of conspiracy to defraud the city.
Agreed, that is insane.
That was like yesterday's theory, Emma.
Yeah.
Move on.
I believe just the opposite.
You... what?
Tariq Chopin was an unpopular, straight-laced political aspirant working as a cop only to improve his electability. His personality, his family, his goals. He'd have every reason to blow the whistle on Prop 492.
And just get the whole project cancelled?
Leaving the lower wards in an undeveloped lurch. A lot of people would hate to see that happen. A lot of blue bloods. But the son of two city councilmen wouldn't care. And an Icaria like my client would be actively rooting for it.
You think Chopin was murdered just to cover up the fact that Prop 492 had been corrupted?
Just. All that money left on the table. All the future money coming down the line. A much better motive than... What was it you proposed, exactly? That my client saw a police officer and would rather stab him than have to explain why he'd killed his captors.
Something along those lines.
It's convincing. So, like, what's going on now? Did Toski do it or not? That will be cleared up in very short order, Your Honor. With the help of our final witness.
Okay,
It's time.
If it's Rogers, I guess he did it. Like,
Who are we putting on the stand, actually?
Who are we putting on the stand? Diamani. Get on the stand.
So Yoru wasn't even really used to frame me. It was used to draw more blood from the wound to soak the papers.
Was so scared during all of this. I know he was in a fugue state, but like that is a hell of a fugue state. A very cold decision to make in the heat of the moment. Defiling a corpse just to protect investments.
Colder than stabbing someone in the back.
In some ways.
Didn't think that was up for debate.
Thank you for joining us once again, Officer Rogers.
Right, well,
Officer Rogers, you son of a bitch. Oh, God.
Are they going to fake us out again? Because, like, if he's,
Are
you
we
know,
gonna
the
fake
last
out
witness for, like, the climactic moment, it's got to be him, right?
It's got to be him now. It's always
is
the
the
ones
game
you
gonna
most
give us a fake out?
suspect.
I don't know.
Like, I'll say the Huntsman assassin theory is wild. I'm not sure he would have the motivation to cover up Prop 492, is the thing.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure he would do that if he was an assassin.
Yeah, who knows? What is going on?
Hunter, you motherfucker. Can we look up the red ink docs again? Just make sure there isn't like a RO like covered up with blood. It's like that was kind of my original. This would be why he got stabbed in the back. Did I think at one point I did actually wonder, like, what if Chopin got stabbed just to bleed on the documents?
Yeah, I think you might.
Rogers, you motherfucker. Rogers, you motherfucker. He's good at this act, I'll say.
No problem. Where is everyone, though? Well, after the shooting yesterday, I'd rather not risk the integrity or celerity of this trial by rescreening every member of the gallery when I've already cleared the room once. Celerity?
Swiftness and haste.
Speed! This trial's gotta go fast, baby! And it takes
Just like
everyone
the
a
murder of
while to
Sonic the
find their
Hedgehog.
spot in the stands again. We were almost caught in the line of fire not 24 hours ago, Officer Rogers. Yourself included.
Just the additional extra thing. Why did that guy even... Who was he shooting at? Was he shooting at Rogers?
Unknown. We kind of assumed he was shooting at Sosuke, but we don't actually know for sure.
I mean, everybody said that, but like this case has already thrown a, oh, this person's definitely the target. Psych, no,
for
they're
sure.
not.
They
And the
could do
Blue
it
Bloods,
again.
like the old guard does not have a reason to assassinate Sosuke. They could have a reason to make it look like they were trying to assassinate Sosuke, but the old guard sent what's his name. So like, if Rogers was Rogers still in the courtroom at that time? Because he could be the target.
I do not remember. What were we
Fully,
even
I
doing
don't
at that point?
Yeah, I truly don't remember at all.
I don't remember the details.
Could have been him. Could have been after him.
All right. Well.
Yep.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Rogers.
Surely you don't find the lack of an audience to be intimidating. No, I guess not. Where'd we leave off with this guy, anyway? I believe that lawyer over there had just accused my late partner of being on the take for the Blue Bloods.
Now that's a little steamy.
I was merely exploring a possibility raised by the witness's sworn statement, Your Honor. Yeah, I think that's what we were doing during the commotion. Because I remember she was saying all that stuff and the crowd was getting really agitated. And that's
occur to
when
me.
the shooter struck.
Yeah, it does occur to me that we've also been, you know, Chopin seems suspicious as fuck when Rogers started giving his testimony, but like, what if Rogers is just the one with the alert, the panic button alert? He was just like, oh yeah, Chopin.
He could lie about anything.
He could lie about that. Oh, Chopin. Okay, Rogers was saying a thing. So, like... Yeah, probably Rogers was the target. We should have let that guy do it. But yeah, if Rogers is just like, oh yeah, Chopin said he heard gunshots, and he was the one who insisted we go to this place, and he was the one who found the place. That'd be a pretty easy way to cover up your own involvement. Yep. God damn it. It's always the ones you most suspect until you meet them.
I don't even remember if I read this line.
All
I'm merely exploring a possibility raised by the witness's sworn statement, Your Honor. That he never heard any gunshots in the area himself.
Morgan, start pressing the button.
By that.
Start pressing the button, Morgan.
Good.
Does the defense have questions for this witness, Your Honor? Or should we all continue to glare at one another for the rest of the day?
Tempting, but I guess we better not. Your Honor, we ask that the witness testify once more about how he and his partner arrived on the scene.
At the very least, we can...
Yeah, no problem. I'll repeat it as many times as you like.
At the very least, we can pull out the contradiction of Han didn't report any noise right before you guys split up.
Yeah.
Han just didn't.
I'm gonna have to call you on that.
Oh,
I like how it's obvious on first impressions, then shit gets muddled and we start pointing everywhere else because we don't know the how, yeah.
It's Rogers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Quiet night, but then my partner heard gunshots. We headed for the nearest known Orca hotspot and arrived to find the building dead quiet. I mean, is it just the gunshots? Door was locked. I checked the alley but didn't see another way in.
I'm almost wondering if you could do it on any statement.
Chopin shot the lock through the door and we entered. Found some kind of loud music up the stairs and there's a slam. Okay.
Yeah, if we only have the
later.
whistle.
I heard a thud from upstairs and came running. I'm the defendant standing over my partner's dead body.
Damn it, Rogers. Adonai? Are you waiting for something, perhaps? Yeah, I mean, I want to know how many pieces of evidence we have. Yeah, okay, just savoring the moment.
I suppose. Yeah, it seems like we
I think
just have
she's
the
just
one
gonna
piece of
click
evidence,
it.
so.
I think she's just going to click it on literally anyone. Yes.
There's only one thing to do at this point, and once I hit the trigger on it, things will really take off.
Yeah, I think you could do it on any statement, but this is the one that makes the most sense.
We're just doing it. Quit that already!
As I've mentioned, I feel many times by now, that is a very unpleasant tone, Adonai.
Sorry. Butterfingers.
Hasn't anyone ever told you it's in poor taste to use the same trick twice?
It's been a lot more than twice now. And besides, it's only an issue when it's used twice on the same audience. Speaking of which... Oh.
Yeah.
You gonna answer that, Officer Rogers? Well, there he is. Just to fill you in, officer, what I accidentally pressed just now is a whistle found at the scene of the crime.
Accidentally, my finger slipped.
Weird coincidence that my little slip-up coincided with your phone vibrating. Can you read us the notification you received just now? Or should the court computer simply force open all your devices and splatter your data across the walls?
Officer Rogers, you have a so-called receiver application installed on that device, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Is that in line with department guidelines of use of third-party software on state-provided devices? This is what she cares about, the unsanitary knife etiquette and the unsanitary cell phone etiquette.
It's not breaking any regulations.
Doesn't need to earn you any demerits to make you look guilty as sin. You and your partner, that is. Did Chopin also have the app installed? We can go check.
If having that app on your phone makes you guilty of something,
Is he gonna say that everyone has it?
And after
you'd have to
police
arrest
force,
half
yeah.
the cops patrolling the lower wards.
Actually, the other thing that we never really came back to was the body cams.
Yeah,
Wasn't it mentioned
yeah.
that Rogers, like, breaks his body cams constantly, and we were wondering what the heck he
Constantly.
does with them?
Yeah,
And also the fact
and,
that,
like,
that Chopin, I think they said normally does have his on, but, like,
Yeah.
didn't have it in this one occasion.
which is
Which
so
makes
weird.
it
And
sound
I
like
was,
he turned it off on purpose.
yeah, I was also honestly wondering if the stab wound was like going at the body cam or something. We technically don't know that he was stabbed in the back anymore. Because
Yeah.
we only really assumed that because it went all the way through. He could have
Yeah.
been stabbed from the front.
Could be.
I don't know that, like, Rogers.
I feel like it might
who
be harder to set up the crime scene
Yeah.
if he was stabbed from the front. To, like, stab
he might-
from the back into the stab wound. in the
Yeah,
front.
yeah, he might still be an idiot, which means it would be, like, harder to aim for the body cam. But, like, I'm sure the fact that the body cam got broken helped, you know?
Yeah.
Because he
Well,
would have been,
okay,
he was looking at,
When would they have been expected to have the body cam on? Because I would have expected that they would have body cam footage even from before, like,
yes.
he got stabbed. Like, when they
I'm
went
thinking-
into the building and stuff. And it seems
Yeah,
like even
it's
at
like-
that point, he had already turned it off for
It
mysterious
would depend on how
reasons.
frequently it, like, updated, because again, that was the whole thing with Trey's eyes, is that, like, oh, a
Yeah.
lot of these just update on the hour. So it might have been that they had, like,
Yeah,
the last hour
unclear.
footage. We might find out specifically what's up with the body cams.
Yeah, I think we
But
will come back to that at some point.
Rogers had the body cam off because he's a lying fucking asshole. God.
What do you mean?
It's common knowledge that orcas use unconventional tactics to talk to one another. Flags on buildings, clothes
Four.
left out on lines, smoke signals, probably even
Semaphore
messenger
revival.
pigeons.
Where?
Yeah,
Don't
no, just the
jump scare
choke
me
hand's
like that.
body cam. It was never said that it broke. It was just said that it was off. And I'm like, I could see it being off if it was broken, but it is weird
Yeah.
that it was off if he's so straight-laced.
Yeah, I was under the assumption that he had, either deliberately turned it off or just not turned it on for this investigation.
Which is
And
like,
it would have
why,
been,
buddy?
really sketchy. So
Why, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. Why? You've got to figure this statuesque. Every pigeon is a disaster waiting to happen.
Anyway, whistles like that one are not common.
Yeah, but yours is hooked up to this frequency. So is it common for members of the police department to try to listen in on the chatter of groups like the Blue Blood Mafia?
Lower wards aren't a place for a cop walks into without every weapon they can carry.
So why'd
And that
you
goes
hear?
double for information.
So why'd you hear an alarm on your thing and run towards it? So there's nothing suspicious about his phone reacting to that horrible, horrible racket? Adonai, have I had to put up with that noise for nothing?
Not for nothing. The witness is correct, Your Honor. There's nothing suspicious about having a receiver installed on any of your devices, even if you aren't a cop. What's incriminating is the fact that Officer Rogers' device responded to the specific frequency of this whistle, and also the fact that he lied about it.
Yeah.
Like, if that's so normal, he should have just said it to
perjury,
begin with.
guys. We still have perjury in the space future.
Sorry, officer. A little blue birdie already told the court that you need to input a frequency in order to get alerts for it.
Yeah, I know that. So does the whole force, in fact.
What?
I see.
The hell is she reading over there? So I was wondering about, like, when they stopped, what's his face, Tanks with his
Yeah.
gun. I
Yeah.
wonder if they made some kind of, like, deal for information.
Yeah.
And, like, that's how they got
Clearly-
the whistle frequency? Or
It's
something like
gotta
that?
be
Question
like,
marks?
so if Rogers is colluding on Prop 492, I think that suggests more than just like a week's worth of collusion.
Hmm.
But it could also be because Creek was not supposed to have that. That was something that Han gave Creek. So, like, it could be information that's not directly about, like, here's a long-standing collusion with the Blue Blood Mafia. It's like, here is stuff that we had specifically as leverage. So we're giving it to you as leverage, you know? And then Rogers is like, oh, I want to be in on this racket. He's like, I could be a racketeer. How hard can it be to be a corrupt cop? Okay. Officer Rogers, testify about this anonymous tip that the police department received last night. Oh, bullshit.
What the heck is this?
Bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Bullshit.
I haven't seen the submission myself, but it came through the department network straight to everyone's inboxes. He advised, anonymous tip suggesting potential Orca analog chatter at the frequency listed below.
But no, hang on. Last night.
Yeah, last night would be after the murders.
We were still doing trial. Last night.
Patrol officers in lower wards use this information at your discretion.
That's absurd. What's the point of informing every cop in the city about a secret communications channel?
Because they
The
realized
Bloods
the
would find out their
whistle
line is compromised within minutes.
because the whistle was already.
Would they?
They realized
I
they
don't
left
know.
it on the crime scene.
Yeah.
I don't control how anonymous tips get handled.
But as soon as you got an email telling you there might be criminal communications appearing at a random frequency, you tuned into it right away?
Yeah, again, last night, this was
Yeah,
the trial. It doesn't matter
so
if it
weird.
came in,
Yeah.
if it's real or not.
They did say it was last night, right?
Last night, yeah. Last night, and I'm like, we didn't have that whole shoujo conversation with Reyes for them to try to pretend like this has been one trial day.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm a little concerned about criminal communications these days. Having seen my partner murdered by an orca right in front of me.
Excuse me? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
Sosuke counts. Like, he's not one
Yeah,
of the Blue Bloods, but he's also,
He would
you know.
count as organized crime
Yeah.
and therefore an orca, but also... Oh, he knows he was the target! You motherfucker!
Barely 24 hours before nearly getting shot myself.
I mean, it could be
that's why
just
they're trying to...
that
Oh.
he's being like, oh, there was a shooter, I could have been hurt in the crossfire or some shit like
It
that,
is.
but
It
yeah.
is definitely his... So, it makes perfect sense for the Blue Bloods to want to murder him. Because I don't even think it's about Creek, because they didn't really give a shit about Creek. I think it's just that he knows about Prop 492, and he was cozying up. He was doing handshakes with the Chopin councilman,
Yeah.
and they're the patsies for this scheme. So they're like, did he fucking squeal? Did he tell them about this fucking scheme we've got going? So of course they'd try to murder him. But he knows he's the target. You motherfucker.
Back up. You saw the moment
Yeah.
of your partner's death.
It is news to the court. He
News to
said
the
that he
court.
came in after
Yeah.
the death.
You know what I mean.
You lying motherfucker. Your Honor, the tip was submitted and the frequency was spread throughout the police department network. Likely because the Blue Bloods believed it to be compromised, having already been used at a scene where 4 of their members died.
Okay,
So
so that
they
makes
sent
sense
it
with
out
the, s-
after
the
the
tip being,
death.
yeah.
So that doesn't... I guess they're just like, well, he had it on his phone now. He installed it afterwards. So we've
yeah,
got to
that's
prove he
probably the
had it
same.
on him that night.
Yes, exactly.
Officer Rogers may have the receiver app on his phone, but so do many other police officers in this city. The app doesn't provide timestamps of when frequencies are added.
I feel like you can find that somewhere.
I mean, considering this is like used by the
Yeah.
mob
Yeah, no,
for
that's a good
secret
point. They probably-
communications, I'm like,
Yeah.
they've got to be fucking Snapchatting this shit. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no records.
No records. So there's no proof of when his phone first started listening for the frequency? The problem with chess is the other player always doing some shit. Yep.
For a courtroom. Neither he nor his partner were members of the organized crimes unit. Therefore, they had no criminal informants of their own, and they could not have obtained this
They
frequency
had
before the
contact with
rest
them,
of the
though.
department. We can refute that. Since the defense cannot prove that the signal was acquired
can.
illegitimately.
I never said I couldn't prove that.
Yeah. Alright, we've got the...
Scrap of paper, Creek's data pad, red ink. There we go.
Found on tanks during frisk 1 week. The gun? What of it?
Not just any gun, a Magus, legally registered to Anchor Tan. And how do I know that? Because this gun was identified and scanned over a week ago. When Tanks was briefly detained by some well-meaning officers on patrol.
That report.
Officers TC and HR reported the following. Subject in possession of firearm in violation of parole. And subject in possession of suspect communication software installed on personal phone.
It's been a while since we've looked at that evidence, so I
All
didn't
that
remember that,
in
but
the
like, yeah,
report?
that's pretty incriminating.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either. Do we have that actually?
I mean, we have
that
the...
was that on the gun?
That could be why.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Suspect
Yeah.
communication software. I love the fact that in the space future, you can be dinged for having communication software on your communication device.
Yeah, that is a pretty big yikes.
Pretty big yikes.
You and your partner found the emergency frequency for Creek's pod over a week ago by skimming Tank's phone, and sat on it until last night, when you kindly dropped it off in the tip box.
The hell are you even saying? Why would we frisk a perp, get good intel, and keep it to ourselves?
Because all of y'all motherfuckers are corrupt?
For the same reason, your partner might report generic shots heard over the police network when he already knew exactly where to look. The same reason he'd be ecstatic at finding documents on Prop 492 at the site of an orca bloodbath. You wanted your gold stars. We wanted to be first on the scene at the site of a blue blood massacre.
Rogers is like, I just wanted to be good at policing for once. Council is badgering, Your Honor.
So is she also saying that they expected there to be a massacre? Like they knew about the deal?
I mean, they didn't get there quickly. Like, they couldn't have known about the deal because Morgan showed up out of nowhere.
Well, obviously they wouldn't have known about Morgan, but I mean their deal with, like, the huntsman.
That is an interesting thought. I don't know about that one, because we don't know when. I think if the huntsman thing was meant to be happening soon, Morgan would have had a much harder time cleaning up the crime and getting out.
I mean, I think they did say that it was happening soon. I don't know how soon.
But, like, yeah, I don't know if it would be soon enough to overlap. I think, like, they knew that there was a problem, and they're not getting there fast. They're just getting there faster than the other cops.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, and losing her meager thread of logic in the process. The previous witness testified that there was, in fact, a silent alarm that night. A silent alarm that needs to be actively pressed. It could have only gone out before Creek's heart stopped. Said witness responded to the alarm by traveling on foot, and yet arrived well before Rogers and Chopin.
I mean, she was...
We're not trying to prove he did all the murders.
The time gap between Morgan leaving and Chopin's death is 15 minutes. Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah, like we're not trying to say he did all the murders. Sosuke can take the fall for the rest of them fine.
The lower wards are maze-like. She could have been closer.
That whistle has a limited range over which it can be received.
That is a good point. But...
so they intentionally delayed.
Yeah.
You propose that Officer Rogers and Chopin were within that limited range at 9:45 p.m., yes? Obviously you do, or else they never would have received the frequency at all.
So if Person H is on foot and individual R is in a police car, and they both receive a signal at the same time, and a train leaves Appletown at 3 p.m.
That seems like an irrelevant factor. All the court need consider is this. How could Officer Rogers and Chopin have possibly arrived later than someone traveling on foot if all three were within that range?
I can't believe I told my geometry teacher that none of this would ever be useful. You had a geometry teacher?
Yeah, it's like...
it's a geometry, damn it.
It's psychology.
Logic.
Yeah.
The fact is they did arrive later than Han.
Yep.
If I'm right about the motivation for Chopin's actions that night. If he was sitting in his police car and suddenly got a notification telling him some blue bloods were having a life-or-death emergency, then he would have waited.
Yeah.
To make sure they were dead and the criminal was gone, and he would just arrive for the
He's a
aftermath.
politician. He doesn't have a legal obligation to save anyone, much less some blue bloods. That cop law isn't even new space future stuff. That's just present day America.
How would he react in that moment?
It would seem the defense does not have evidence available to address this contradiction, Your Honor. Evidence is going to be trickier, but...
Evidence explaining exactly how Chopin proceeded to the crime scene. I do wonder if there could have also been like something else they needed to stop and do beforehand, but nothing comes to mind, so...
I mean, can we look at our evidence?
Yeah, we can try. So we don't have that evidence. I mean, obviously we have to say we have the evidence, but the question is which well, no, it could
Not
be like,
necessarily.
we don't
Sometimes
have
we
the
do.
evidence, but...
But, yeah. So, vault door doesn't seem like it. Knife. Autopsy. The data pad is at the scene of the crime. So that's not helping. Creek's note question mark. I mean, we still have a question mark beside Creek's, which is interesting.
Yeah.
London's? Yeah. What would they have been doing in that time? Because if we're looking for evidence, it can't just be they sat in their car and waited.
Yeah. They have to vote to be ready first!
They're
Of
like,
course.
we need to get this person with A positive blood onto the scene of the crime. Yeah, so...
I don't know. I don't feel like I have anything.
I don't think we can link Murray to this, actually. Vault door, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I think we don't have anything. What the heck would it be?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Based on what we know of the crime scene and the lower wards, what would they have been doing aside from just sitting on their asses? Because if we're at least arguing that they wanted to catch whoever was at this crime scene, dumpster? But we know Han moved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything that could possibly prove anything. I think we might just say no.
Can I note something that's weird? Right now we've got it set up. Rogers did it. How did Rogers get behind Chopin to stab him? He just did that. He was just behind him, you know?
Yeah.
But there's a slight problem of, we know that somebody messed with the crime scene after, because that scrap of paper was transferred from the third floor to the
That is
second
true.
floor.
We still don't know anything
And
about that.
Han didn't know about that. And the thing is, there's not a reason that Rogers would have to take the fire escape down.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm wondering, like, the only thing I can think of based on the basic setup that we have is, like, if Sosuke had wandered downstairs in his fugue state and Rogers was trying to cut him off. But I'm still not sure that makes a whole lot of sense from what we know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if we do have evidence for this.
I think I'm gonna go say no, because I've been looking through stuff and I don't see anything remotely relevant.
Yeah.
Regretfully, Your Honor, we do not have such evidence in our possession. But fortunately, Your Honor, we live in a surveillance police state.
Pardon?
Oh yeah, the cop car. I'm sure
Yeah, the
it
cop car.
has, you know, records.
It logs stuff.
Yeah. And that makes it pretty easy to surveil police officers. The officer's patrol car, their cell phones, traffic cameras, and optics data. I could request any of it. Hell,
I will request it,
Your
yeah.
Honor, I formally subpoena all of it.
What?
What?
Can she do that?
I'm not sure. I'm still learning.
Ray's drunken swipe at my front door
Yeah.
reminded me exactly how much power the police have.
Ugh.
But it was her dutiful checking in that made me realize just how hard it is to lose a cop in this city. Whatever it takes to answer this question for the court. After Officer Chopin reported that he heard shots fired at 9:45 p.m., exactly how long did he and his partner do the donuts in the parking lot before actually driving off to the scene? Kind of a big ask from the defense, but it's entirely doable. Do the people object?
The people, of course, object to any data collection effort that would be a waste of taxpayers' money or a violation of their privacy. Yeah, like you give a shit about privacy, Emma. So we would prefer that the range of this request be narrowed somewhat. Narrowed, perhaps, from everything to something.
I guess are we gonna have
We gotta make a
choose?
choice.
Happy to do that, Your Honor. I promise not to act like a kid in a candy shop when browsing, though.
If you do this, if you subpoena that data, you'll...
Are you scared?
Rogers.
You'll just see me driving like a lethargic moron.
Uh-oh.
Not quite a murder face, but I'll take it.
It's pretty bad, though.
Officer Rogers? He seems different. That's
If
right,
this
this
turns
is his
out to
true
be
face.
another switcheroo,
Also kind of an idiot.
I swear to God. It's gotta be him at this point, but you can never rule anything out in these games.
You never...
Hardly recognize him.
He's wearing a hat and everything.
Agreed. But I recognize his type. Soldier.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's...
Oh boy.
yeah.
Your Honor, what the defense is suggesting is largely accurate.
We got the spooky music. Pardon?
That's a first.
Though there are some corrections I feel I should make at this time.
No objections here.
Officer Chopin is the one who discovered the frequency when we apprehended Ankerton. He entered it into both our receiver apps at that time, without my knowledge. It wasn't until the night in question that he chose to inform me of the intel he had obtained, and how he planned on acting on it.
Oh, this is weird.
At 9:45 p.m., we received a signal. Before I could react, he had put out a notice on the police network that he had heard gunshots. It was at this time that he told me to drive towards Blue Blood territory. As he started to explain to me what he believed we would find, I chose to take a suboptimal route.
Okay, so he's definitely being an idiot on purpose,
Yeah.
including it's got to be the marksman stuff. But that is interesting, because if he genuinely doesn't want to get a marksman certification, he didn't have to pass the last time. Maybe the proctor really did pity him, and he's like, shit. I have been too competent at being incompetent.
I mean, also, if he is a former soldier,
Yeah.
then maybe he just, like, has PTSD about it. And, like,
Yeah, I mean, that
struggles to
does
hold a gun.
happen. That does happen. But,
Yeah, I
like,
know.
it's a little weird that we're not getting the breakdown when we've got more conclusive stuff to pin it on him. It's like,
I think we might be getting there. We'll see.
We might be getting there, but I'm also weirded out. Like, this isn't necessarily the persona I would think of who's, like, going into the corrupt copness. Maybe he's like, if I do this one corruption, I can retire. You're making me do all this work, Chopin, to not do any work.
Yeah. We spent several minutes in traffic as he berated me for my sense of direction.
So you both knew this silent alarm would lead you to some kind of blue blood emergency.
But only you realized that meant you should take your time getting there.
Turns out, Chopin is an idiot.
Logically, a silent alarm is triggered during a confrontation, not afterwards. I had no desire to walk into the crossfire of an orca gunfight without backup.
Maybe this is a mask as well. Yeah, exactly. This could be just his backup plan. Like, oh, well, they found me out. Time to switch to plan B.
Time to just... That's why he's the huntsman, because he just...
Yeah.
It's not about being a master of disguise, it's about just being many different flavors of idiot. You could have had backup. Easily. There's a recent thing that I watched that had like I want to get a read on this character who seems like an idiot. Is he really an idiot or not? It's like, you detect as you look at this character that the idiot, the idiocy is a very strong facade, but underneath is a sharper mind that knows more about, what's going on than he lets on, and he's trying to get people to underestimate him. But also beneath that is an even more profound cluelessness. He knows more than he lets on, but nowhere near as much as he needs to.
Wow. My partner had no desire to share our intel, or how we obtained it. I apologize to the court, Your Honor, for being evasive or misleading during these proceedings. And I intend to take full responsibility for doing so.
That's perjury, man.
But I was not eager to admit the role of my own cowardice played in these events. Nor would I ever want to imply that Officer Chopin was responsible in any way for his own murder. Very warm sentiments from the officer.
Delivered with a voice as cozy as ice water.
So you're telling the court that you and your partner arrived at what you expected to be a bloodbath. And you still shot the lock off a door and started stomping around inside while separated from one another? At that point, I think they assumed that the criminal was absconded.
Yeah. Respectfully, ma'am, with the route I took and the time it took us to arrive, we expected to find all targets neutralized. And that expectation was reinforced when we arrived on the street and found the whole vicinity dead quiet.
So where was Sosuke during all of this?
Yet we were still the first on the scene, despite my stalling for time.
Well, not technically first. First cops on the scene. I guess Han got there first. And did he know about that? I mean, Emma said something about that. So, like, he would know now, anyway.
Emma mentioned that there was a previous witness who arrived on foot. So, yeah, I guess he would have heard about that. But most of the details were in that very private session, so he wasn't involved in this.
He doesn't know.
Or he wasn't aware of that.
He possibly, like, heard her, doing stuff, jumping down and whatnot.
Doing stuff.
But... Alright, anyway.
Oh, God.
I think that might have enthused my partner. He was excited, and I let him set the pace. It's my deepest regret that I agreed with his request to split up.
Tell us more about
any
that.
Of this.
And what did you hear?
Doubt.
Press X.
First to arrive on the scene, we know that wasn't the case. A blue blood got there well before you and your partner.
That's what you were talking about?
Yeah. He's like, I only heard the tail end of that. The witness wasn't present for that individual's testimony. He's merely giving the facts as he knows them. And he can't have known there was a blue blood in the building. Can't he, though?
On the contrary, You already testified about encountering them yesterday.
This is where we're doing the dumpster
They made a
slam.
not so silent retreat down into the alleyway.
Yeah, but the timing of that.
Yeah, let's figure that out. That was
That's not
a
cool.
blue blood making all that racket. I see. My partner, Chopin. He shouted that there was someone scrambling around down in the alley not long before he was killed.
But that's
He must
not
have
why
opened
they
the
split
windows on
up.
the 3rd floor to check.
That's not why they
Yeah.
split up. That's a new detail, Officer Rogers.
Pardon me if I failed to mention it yesterday.
It occurs to me you weren't present in the courtroom when this other curious detail was brought to light. The fact that there was another weapon at the scene of the crime. A bloodied knife, which somehow ended up down in the dumps. Know anything about that?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Playing dumb? Wrong move.
I do know Sinus is a bunch of amateurs with conflicted priorities.
Explain this to the court, then. Forensic analysis has already shown that this knife was the murder weapon used to stab Miller, getting a healthy amount of his blood on it in the process. It's also been established that this knife must have been what my client used to cut his own bindings.
If you say so.
The evidence says so.
If the defense isn't interested in asking the witness questions, perhaps they'll answer mine. What does this have to do with Officer Rogers?
Everything, of course. Allow me to show you why.
Okay, well this is a legitimate, hang on, the whistle. London's testimony. Well, I guess it would be like, did Sosuke toss it out the window then? Why would he do that? Why didn't he know that the knife had...
Like,
Because
this seems like the most relevant thing.
Yeah,
Rogers
like the
arresting
whistle...
Sosuke. Like, what was the process of that? At what point did the knife get thrown
Yeah.
out?
At some point, the knife was thrown out a window, and it had to have been after Chopin was dead. So when did that happen?
You know for a fact that Sosuke had to use that knife to cut his bonds. And Detective London has testified that Officer Rogers apprehended Sosuke alone. So why can't the officer who apprehended the man last known to be using this knife tell us how it ended up in the alley?
That is a question well worth asking the witness.
I have no idea what you're talking about. When I found your client, he had the magus, and he had the sword. The sword he had stuck through my partner. This knife you're talking about. Where'd you find it?
In the trash.
Drum.
Down in the alley. Well, then some crime scene tech idiot must have thrown it out thinking it was bio-waste, but the arcs!
No.
Or some sinus lackey tossed it as a prank. I wouldn't
It's not in the
know,
arcs.
because I spent hours being debriefed in that room on the 3rd floor while they set up the arcs. I spent all night in a room with my partner's corpse. Never took a trip down to empty the recycling bin.
We know the knife was with Sosuke at one point, and we know it ended up down in the alley later. So it stands to reason that someone had to walk it downstairs and out of the building. I mean, they could have just literally tossed it out the window.
Yeah.
If Rogers never left that room all night, then someone else must have moved it. Is that what we're thinking? Yeah, because it's like the window. Do we have
We don't
like
know
the
like the
drum in the-
specifics of the placements of
Location?
stuff. Yeah. Of whether
Yeah,
he
which
could
is a
have
little
thrown it
weird, but
down, but the other thing is that he
could've.
would have had to set it on fire.
at
Well,
some
not
point.
necessarily.
That could have been done
It's the-
after.
It's the lower wards. Like, there's a possibility that he didn't even intend
Intend for
to
it to
throw
be
it in the
burned, that it
fire
just-
to burn off the DNA.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get rid of it. So he just tosses it and it happens to land in this burning barrel. And that would probably be why he didn't clean it up later. Because, like,
Yeah.
if he tried to go to the scene of the crime, he's like, hey, where the fuck is this? I mean, it really, like, the window's open. He can just toss it.
I want to say he could have. Alright, I'm gonna go for it, whatever. 0 points for you.
0 points again?
All that processing power, and you can't manage to think in 3D. It doesn't matter if Officer Rogers stayed in that room all night, Your Honor. All anyone needed to do to dispose of the knife was step out onto the fire escape and drop the knife down into the barrel waiting below. No need to leave the 3rd floor.
So who moved
No
the
need to leave the
paper?
crime scene at all, Officer Rogers. What kind of trickshot bullshit are you talking about?
That is a long drop, Your Honor.
A straight drop. Gravity's convenient like that.
The target was a small drum in a dark alley, but it was on fire.
Said drum was burning when the police arrived. The target would have been plainly lit, and I've taken both of your arguments into consideration. After much deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that the proposed method of removing the knife from the 3rd floor is not actually that hard to do. Assuming a modicum of hand-eye coordination and a basic understanding of Newtonian physics.
Which, to be fair, we haven't proven Rogers has.
Well, obviously. Couldn't anyone manage that?
Sosuke, your standards. Practiced martial artists who are masters of every muscle in their body. Individuals like yourself.
She's such a big fan. I love her.
And me. I'm in a category with Sosuke, actually.
Wait, baby girl.
Might find it hard to relate. But there are some who would struggle with the task.
Yourself and I. Wait, hand-eye coordination?
It is subjective. It is the subjectist. Eloquently put, Your Honor, which is why he's a fucking loser, and that's why the defense's argument is wrong. So you must agree that someone with hand-eye coordination so bad that they hold the record for worst marksmanship in the entire police department. Someone with such poor aim that they opted to physically assault a target rather than shoot them.
Yeah, hearing it like this, it does make it sound like a PTSD thing.
Yeah, no, he's we just found out he's got a soldier's bearing. Give us his military record.
Yeah.
Someone like that might find it impossible to pull that off. Check. Ah, shit. That's not
Are you
really.
talking
Well, I mean,
about
that is.
me?
We've got a lot of options for getting out of it, though.
He's talking about me, Your Honor. And while I find her tone unflattering, none of what she said is false. Apologies that dropping the knife from the fire escape didn't occur to me as a possibility. It just must be that for me personally, such a method of compromising a crime scene is not only
You
unthinkable,
motherfucker.
it's impossible.
Uh-huh. Of all the stupid details to come back and bite me in the ass, the piss-poor aim that London mentioned.
Morgan's like, why can't it be any of Talion and Luke's dumb theories that comes back? It's gotta be this one. Is it possible that Officer Rogers faked his poor aim at the academy?
Is that he has poor aim with guns specifically.
With guns specifically.
It's easy to not hit your target,
Yeah.
but why would he intentionally flunk a shooting test years ago? Give
No.
himself such a strange alibi here today.
He's just got PTSD, buddy. Like you, except a different kind.
He didn't flunk his test.
He got exactly
The
enough.
very lowest score you could possibly get while still being certified.
Yeah, like somebody who's actually very good at
Lord,
shooting.
You'd have to be trying to.
There we go.
We finally got it.
We finally did it. If his goal was to receive the exact minimum number of points needed to pass, his margin of error would actually be much smaller than anyone simply doing their best.
But then, what about when he first saw me? It's true that any other cop who saw me standing over their dead partner would have just
Well, because he
unloaded.
didn't see you standing over
Instead,
his
he
dead
ran up
partner.
and hit me. If he's not actually that bad of a shot, why am I still alive?
The story Rogers
Yeah.
has been telling so far, that he instinctually didn't bother to fire. His gun wasn't discharged, and Sosuke's got the bruises, so he accepted that line of reasoning. But if I assume he's more dangerous than he's led us to believe, why wouldn't he have just shot Sosuke when he had the chance? He could have told his fellow officers whatever story he liked afterwards. And we wouldn't even be having this trial. I feared for my life. That's all he'd need to say.
Oh, that's pretty
Yep.
harsh with the
Yep.
current political situation.
Yep.
Oh god.
Don't you just love the sci-fi fantasy game that has nothing to do with real life?
Yeah.
Under what circumstances would it have been impossible for him to claim that? Your Honor,
Okay, Morgan's thought of something.
I'm reminded just now that my client and the witness were in a physical altercation.
I apprehended a murder suspect, yes. Surely you weren't suggesting I used unreasonable force.
If anything, you used unreasonably little. Not at all, but I imagined things happened fairly fast. Isn't it possible that a knife on Sosuke's person may have been knocked away into a corner during that moment?
What are you...
It
Is that what the
may
smear of
have.
blood is going to be? Because wasn't there that one smear of blood that we keep bringing up?
No, it was like a big smear of blood. It was like something getting dragged
Okay.
across the floor.
Okay.
I can't say I would have necessarily noticed something clattering onto the floor while I was trying to cuff a violent perp.
Apparently not very successfully.
Yeah. You couldn't
Your
cuff a
Honor,
cow.
The witness ought to testify about everything he recalls from the moment he confronted my client.
Yeah, testimony.
Jogging his memory might be the only way we can address these gaps in our knowledge.
No objections.
Then let's hear it. Good versus evil. Man versus machine. Cop versus robber.
I'm not a machine. Or a robber.
Don't worry, Sosuke. If need be, Ad and I would go through a whole trial just to prove you're a machine. I know this from experience.
What kind of joke is that?
Alright, what do we
Okay.
got?
Yoru, fire escape, and the medical
Presumably
records.
the med
All right.
records sound the most relevant to the current conversation.
Yeah, because it's like if
The
Sosuke was just
I
passed
had
out.
on the second floor window. Sickening thump from above.
Reflexively, I drew my service weapon and rushed up the stairs where I saw the defendant
Okay.
standing over my partner's dead body.
Reflexively, he drew his service
Shocked that he
weapon.
was clearly injured and the sword was stuck, so before I knew it, I was running at him. He turned to me with dull shock. His forehead, I thought it was the back of the head, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let's look at that.
I collapsed and the room was a mess, my blood was pumping. If he had dropped a knife at that time, I wouldn't have noticed it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the forehead.
Forehead, let's... Despite his change in posture, he's still telling the same story. The medical records, yeah. Back of the head near the top.
Yeah, he He hasn't changed his tune. But he is giving more detail than ever before.
And that's where we trip
One
him up.
of those details is about to bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
Why did he get that wrong, though? That makes no sense.
Presumably because he's constructing a story where... Because, like, the back of the head suggests that he snuck up on Sosuke. And so he's presenting a story where Sosuke was looking at him and being active and awake and not in a fugue state.
Sounds very brave, Officer Rogers, but that's physically impossible. How could you have knocked my client out with one strike to the forehead? But it was the back of his head that was injured.
What are you talking about? Yesterday he had bruises across his entire body.
An exaggeration that doesn't hold up to the scrutiny of his actual medical record. Largest wound found on the crown of the head. The crown, as in the top of the back of the head. The butt of a pistol leaves a surprisingly specific impression on the human body, Officer Rogers. I assume Dr. Sato is still in the building. Perhaps we should call her back and have her examine my client on the stand. Sosuke, you'll have to remove your shirt. Oh my god, why are all these robot ladies hitting on him?
To get my head checked.
Poor Sosuke.
That would be a waste of time, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan has taken advantage of some rather vague wording in the medical record to make her argument.
I think it was pretty specific.
It did say back of the head, Emma. Largest wound.
Okay, so she's gonna try to say that the hit on his forehead that Officer Rogers totally made was not the largest wound. Okay.
But the fact is, the defendant was covered in various bruises all over his body when he was taken into custody, including on the front of his skull.
She's not wrong. I still remember every ache.
It's entirely possible that when Officer Rogers struck the defendant on the forehead, the blow was glancing. But still hard enough to knock the defendant backwards. And had he fallen backwards hard, he very easily could have sustained a large wound to the crown of his head at the moment he hit the ground. Okay, but where did he hit the ground then? On the blood?
So maybe...
You're saying...
Following your theory about the bodies lying on top of each other, maybe he stumbled backwards and tripped over Chopin's corpse and his...
So the thing is, we talked about the blood spatters that are all over his body, and I think the thing is those were specified to be on the front of his body, so that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Can we look at the medical record again? Blood from various sources across the anterior, parentheses, front. So if he fell into the pool of blood, it would have had to been face forward. So this doesn't work, Emma.
Respectfully, Your Honor, that's...
Ultimately not something either the people nor the defense are experts on. But even if we were, neither of us could examine wounds that are no longer visible. Yeah, that's why they healed him up. Sosuke's injuries. They've mostly healed as of this morning.
Did that injection help you sleep really well last night, Sosuke?
Your Honor, as I see it, we could either extend this trial indefinitely, with both the people and the defense flying in X-ray specialists and contusion analysts to argue back and forth about fracture lines. Or we could accept that events more or less took place as the witness described. He hit the defendant on the head And then the defendant fell backwards onto the floor. No, doesn't work, Emma.
If the head wound's open to interpretation, then...
Yeah, no, the medical data does not support Rogers' story.
Forget expert witnesses. Let's all just look at the medical data with our own 2 peepers.
Peepers?
Officer
Well,
Rogers
4 peepers in Emma.
Yep. Claims that Sosuke was hit on the forehead and fell backwards. But what would he have fallen onto? That room? Probably blood and guts. Yuck. You're exactly right. All kinds of firsts happening in the courtroom today. He would have gotten blood all across his back. But that's not how he looked when he was arrested. The medical report clearly states that he had blood on the front of his body. Telling us that Sosuke could only have fallen forward.
And what of it? Maybe he did. Maybe he turned his head weird while trying to dodge. Things happened fast.
Don't try to bullshit a bullshitter. Fast enough that you may have, in fact, actually struck my client from behind.
Yeah, maybe.
Took him by surprise, when he was no threat to you.
What? No.
Easy target to knock out at that point. Makes sense why you wouldn't use lethal force in that scenario.
No, he was...
Okay.
The guy's got nearly a full head on me.
True.
True.
I don't deny it.
So it's like so much of this case revolves around me being hot and buff. Which makes it highly unlikely the witness could have simply hit him on the crown, but Chopin could have. If things happened as you say.
Okay, what are people's...
We've got so much space on the blood typing. I don't know if we have
Chopin
heights
is
in here. Okay, height 176 centimeters.
Rogers is 184.
He's taller than he
much
looks.
Taller, yeah.
He's just slouching.
Sosuke's 192.
Okay,
He's the biggest.
I guess Chopin would have also had trouble hitting Sosuke on the back of the head.
But I feel like, honestly, that difference in height wouldn't make it that hard to hit him on the top of the head. Like, you have an arm you can reach.
You have arms.
Come on, guys.
You're not a sad, disembodied ghost like me. You guys have limbs. If things happened as you say and he had the element of surprise, he would have simply aimed for the easiest target possible, the one easiest to reach, the center or bottom of the skull.
So are they going to say that Sosuke was already on the floor?
Yeah, Sosuke was
hit
just
him
like...
just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
Leave the evidence that, like, yeah, I totally was the one who knocked him out.
Yeah, Chopin is shorter than Rogers?
Apparently.
That's what we saw?
Not quite. This changes my Sosuke Rogers yowing thing completely.
Yup. We're learning things today, folks. Excuse me?
I never said that my client was standing up when this happened. He could have also been kneeling, because they did say that there was a lot of blood on his legs and feet.
A lot of blood on his knees. Yeah, I was thinking about that. We've got the legs and knees and everything. You mean...
He was asleep? No. Considering that he was struck on the crown of his head, it's obvious that at the time, Sosuke Ikaria was... I mean, definitely not still bound. I guess it depends what they mean by on the ground or bent over. It could be either. Like, on the ground, do they mean kneeling or lying down or what? And same with bent over. Like,
that's a lot of options. I would think that he was, like, kneeling.
Yeah.
Bent over would kind of suggest that it was, like, over the table, which doesn't sound right. He just needed to take a little breather, guys. He's a martial artist.
I guess
but
if he was
a martial artist
bent over, like, towards Rogers, and Rogers came at him from the front, then yeah, he would have gotten him at the top of the back
But
of
I
the
feel
head.
like why is he bent over specifically? Because I'm thinking like, well, if he was just exhausted from the torture and in a fugue state.
Yeah, I don't exactly understand what is meant by these. I think I'm gonna try on the ground, but again, I don't really understand what they mean. All right, let's try it. We have plenty of chips to burn. Look at this.
We got lucky threes, baby.
On the ground. It would have been easy to hit him if so. That sounds like
This feels like a wrong. So bent over.
But if Sosuke was already face down on the ground, Rogers wouldn't have needed to hit him.
Was he fugue
Well, we didn't
stating?
even lose anything for that.
We didn't even lose chips. Was he fugue stating
Client must have been bent over.
into a bow? He's like, oh, Daisuke Akari, you're here.
He was bent over when the witness came from behind and...
Adonai.
What? Why are you interrupting me now?
Because I thought you would want to know. You were about to phrase things in a way that would sound very silly.
Oh my gosh. Sweet innocent Sarah has the dirtiest mind.
I hope this helps inform your Sosuke Rogers yaoi fic.
What are you talking about?
Sarah's right, Morgan. You should let her take this one.
I want Sarah to be my attorney now, actually. It was when Sosuke bent over to pick up Yoru. That makes sense. That's when Officer Rogers struck Sosuke on his crown.
As I've said, the one thing I do remember besides walking out there is picking up my sword. Picking it up off the ground.
You could have specified that. Having your android argue the weaker points for you now, Counselor? Not exactly the bravest tactic.
Tactics of refreshing your breath.
Tic-tacs?
Yep. That's pretty funny. I love the idea that Morgan unintentionally makes innuendos that she doesn't pick up herself because she's the most arrow ace person ever. Yeah, I could see that. What can you claim is weak about the argument?
Positioning. If your client really had walked out of that holding room and was then immediately hit from behind, where could his assailant have possibly been standing?
Sosuke had to get out of his bindings first, and then push open the door. These are the marks I was
Okay,
talking
so
about.
that's the big
Yeah.
dragging. Yeah, that's right. Huh.
But he wouldn't have been concerned with keeping quiet as he went. I think we had theorized that this was just like Sosuke's bloody feet dragging across the ground as he walked or something, but it's a weird
That's also
shape.
an option. I will say it could well be that, like, because we've still got the thing of somebody moved that paper from the third floor to the second floor. Except no, that couldn't have been Sosuke doing that because it happened. Well, no, it happened after Han left. Because she was trying. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So it happened after Han left when things were going down. But before all of this nonsense with the cops showing up and extra shenanigans.
So I'm just trying to remember whose blood would be where. So this was Creek,
Yeah.
obviously. I think this was Tank's, and this was Trey, and then I guess this was probably Miller.
Yeah, like one of them
there's
could be
the drag of the blood with the sword, and this is Chopin's blood.
Yeah.
So this drag probably... I'm confused about all this.
Yeah, I'm confused about the drag too, especially since there's no reason I can think of that Rogers would be down on the second floor room unless we have missed something. The paper definitely made it look like somebody took the fire escape, and it would be
Yeah.
deeply weird, I'm gonna be real, it would be deeply weird if nobody had used the fire escape. Like, really, the
Yeah,
fire
for
escape
sure.
that conspicuously
Yeah.
goes from the 3rd floor to the
It would be
2nd
really
floor and
weird.
nothing else? That would be weird. But I'm trying to think, because I'm like, the only way I think this makes sense if Sosuke did it, or Sosuke was the one who tracked the paper, would be like if in a fugue state he tried to flee through a non-conventional, it's like, oh yeah, you know, you end up in an enemy stronghold, you don't walk out the front door, fire escape, I'll take the fire escape. But then the fire escape doesn't let out to the ground, and he's too injured to jump it. So he goes into the 2nd floor, and that's where the paper gets transferred. But then as he's leaving, he realizes he's forgotten Yoru. So he goes back up the stairs. And
Yeah, I
that's
think
the
that makes
only way I
sense.
can think of that it would be Sosuke who did it. But it's kind of got to be Sosuke or Rogers who tracks that paper at this point. So I can't think of why Rogers would do it, so it's got to be Sosuke. He wouldn't have been concerned with keeping quiet. Yeah, so he could have just gone the fire escape.
There would have been plenty of time for someone to hear him rummaging around in there. And figure out where they could hide. In the corner of the room, here.
Yeah, Sosuke's thumbs up. That doesn't work. If that was the case, your client would have fallen face first here. But instead he was apprehended here in the center of the room. I mean, the thing is, drag marks towards the windows is only if Sosuke's been stepping in the blood. If Sosuke left before the room got quite so bloody, then it'd be fine.
I mean, if we're saying that he should have been here, but he was actually found here, then that
Yeah,
drag
then-
would match the drag, assuming he was already covered in enough blood at this point to make those marks. Do we even know whose blood the drag marks are?
Yeah, that's the thing. If the drag was
I
like...
feel like we investigated that at some point.
Well,
but I don't
okay,
remember
so
what
here's
said.
where the drag marks might make sense.
Mm.
Sosuke, Rogers bonks Sosuke on the head. Sosuke falls smack into Chopin's blood all over his front. Rogers realizes that, why did we even say that he was using the, Rogers, no, hang on. Because he had picked up Yoru at this point. So the thing that is interesting about that is that there wouldn't be all of Chopin's blood out on the floor yet, because we pointed out that the knife wound wouldn't have actually spilled much blood.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be falling into a blood puddle, he'd be falling like into a tiny bit of blood. Rogers is like, I gotta cover up this Prop 492 shit. Let's stab my dead partner some more. Because it's after this point that Yoru is used, because as soon as Yoru goes into Chopin, it's stuck in the floor.
Yeah.
So that happens after this. I was thinking if Sosuke had some blood on him, maybe just from like what little would have gotten out of the knife wound. The thing is, he has to move Sosuke off that body in order to do that. So he drags Sosuke off, stabs the katana through, drags him back to be like, yes, I knocked him out while he was standing here above my partner's corpse. So that's weird.
Hey, makes sense to me. Looks like he dropped like a sack of potatoes by the door, sure. But he was dragged to the center of the room. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But explain the streaks of blood we can see were discovered on the floor. The
I
problem
guess
is
'cause
that
Sosuke was
where would
just
he have
bleeding.
picked up the blood exactly? Like
I
it
guess
might have
he was
it might
just
be his own
bleeding
blood,
too.
yeah.
He was bleeding too. He was tortured a lot. So those weren't left by him gliding his feet in order to move silently?
Yeah, that was our original assumption. That's funny.
I was hoping to learn that technique. Your Honor, I fear the defense may not realize the weight of the implication that her statement carries. No, we finally get to accuse someone. If, as she claims, Sosuke Ikaria was knocked unconscious by Officer Rogers the moment he walked out into the room,
And my client never had any opportunities to stab Tariq Chopin in the back. And the only remaining individual who could have possibly killed him
Would be me.
come on, Rogers.
I low-key really want to cut the episode here.
Banger.
Do we want to go for a better lull in conversation, or do we want to cliffhang?
I mean, the thing is, I think I'd like to end with a little more certainty on what are we doing next. Like, if Morgan
Sure.
does a fake out and is like, no, it's not him, then I don't.
I feel like
wanna
at
be
this point we're
teased by
probably
that
not
first
going to
thing
be able
next
to finish
episode.
the game this stream,
No.
because it seems like there's still plenty
Yeah.
of stuff to cover. But we can keep going until we have a better
Rogers is a motherfucker, but we're close.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're that close
Yeah.
necessarily. We
Yeah, there's
haven't
still
gotten
plenty
to
to
like
do.
his final form.
Yes. Any thoughts on that, officer? It'd be a good place to stop, so next time has a full 2 hours. Yeah,
I mean, I think it is worth noting that, you know, sometimes these take a little longer than expected.
Yeah.
There's one thought that's been frustrating me for some time, actually. When I expected the prosecutor to voice, perhaps I misjudged her.
You seriously? You're gonna
He's like,
start getting all
actually-
judgy?
He's like, actually, I have some questions if anyone feels like answering them. You what?
None of what you're saying makes any sense. You say I hid in the corners to surprise Sosuke. And that I then, what? Snuck up on Chopin? How could I do any of that if I was downstairs at the time Chopin was killed?
You have only your
Yeah,
testimony to support
exactly.
that, buddy. Give us a fucking alibi.
At the time Sosuke killed him.
Do you recognize this piece of paper, motherfucker? You...
It's not that the thought hadn't occurred to Emma, you idiot.
See, on the
Once I address
lower...
this point, your entire testimony falls apart. And the truth of the case becomes crystal clear. There's no misunderstanding on my part, and I suspect none on the part of the people either. Because the truth is, when you and your partner arrived, you must have immediately...
I mean, just fallen behind, I
sounds
think.
like,
Yeah, you... I've got your back. That's the perfect place to stab someone in the back, you know?
Behind while Chopin charged up the stairs. No, I think the thing is that he went ahead.
Okay, so... Okay, well, I was
So
thinking
is it
like
maybe
they were
that
just
he
right
actually
next
went
to each other.
ahead? And
Yeah, he just reversed the
knocked
things.
Sosuke
Oh
out?
yeah.
Yeah. And that would also be interesting because we have Chopin's fingerprints on the data pad.
Yeah.
So if Chopin didn't have a chance to be alone in the room to mess with stuff, would that have been
Yeah.
like Rogers like using his fingerprints after the fact or something? Like what would that
think
be?
so.
Interesting.
I think if he killed Chopin, it's got to be because Chopin found something. You know? He's not going to kill his partner just for the lulz. He's an underachiever. He's a
Yeah.
slacker.
Yeah, I don't know. When things happened exactly
apparently-
as Rogers claimed, and Sosuke's the only one who is alive and alone with Chopin. No, when they first entered the building, Rogers must have... I guess,
guess
he must have
taken the
taken
lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But were you trying to say something?
I was mostly just saying, yeah, the I would have assumed if it's just like doing the whole like, how would he have snuck up behind him? I'm like, you're cops. If one of them's behind you, that's the easiest place to do a backstabbing. But like, I guess taking the lead. I don't think he knocked out Chopin. Yeah.
Yeah. You were the one who took point, not your partner.
Excuse me?
You're accusing me of being
Chopin
competent?
shot open the lock, sure, I believe that. He was the one all gung-ho about coming there anyway. But after entering, you went ahead of him while he covered you.
What?
already told us you wanted to stall, wait for backup. If Chopin charged forward, you couldn't slow him down. But if you went first, you could go as slowly as you liked, and Chopin would be forced to match your pace. You were the one who cleared the room and shouted down that everyone was dead.
I told you. I testified.
Your testimony
So
doesn't
did your
mean
blue blood
shit.
tail. Testified all about how you and your partner separated on the second floor.
Oh, that's true. She never specified who.
Yeah.
Objection, mischaracterization of testimony. The witness the defense is referring to did encounter two officers, but the witness never identified either of them. Exactly.
The blue blood didn't need to. All they were waiting to hear was whether any blue bloods were alive. So after Rogers shouted down to Chopin that everyone was dead, they bolted out the second floor window. And when Chopin shouted that someone was in the alley, Officer Rogers opened the windows behind Creek's body to try and spot the runner. Then he ran down the fire escape to try and follow them. Well, that would
But the
explain
fire escape.
the
Yeah,
paper.
finally. I'm like, that was just such a weird
Yeah.
clue.
Only to give up when he saw there was no ladder to get down with.
It's entirely possible that Chopin yelled that someone was in the alley from the third floor.
The scene of the crime is soundproof, remember?
Yep.
No one in that room would notice a commotion in the alley unless they'd already opened the windows to check it. So since Chopin yelled about it, he had to have been the officer who stayed on the second floor.
This blue blood brat of yours just misheard. Or they're lying. There's no proof for any of this.
Yes, there
Oh, there's at
is,
least-
officer.
Yeah. Do we finally get this?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, finally the scrap of paper. Finally, answers for that. That scrap of paper was found by the second floor windowsill.
But it's not just any scrap of paper. It matches the red ink documents that were found where the pod died. And it happens to have a partial boot print on it, proving that someone stopped from the crime scene down the fire escape and into the second floor.
That doesn't prove anything. Your own client could have left that boot print.
Well, let's match the print. My client was arrested barefoot, remember? You should. You did the arresting.
I did forget about that, yeah.
Maybe Chopin.
If Chopin was the one who brought the scrap down from the third floor, that would put him behind you. Meaning you couldn't have walked in on him being attacked by Sosuke.
Ugh.
Counselor! Even if we accept that Rogers was on the third floor and then moved down to the second, the sequence you're describing ends with both officers reunited on the second floor, with neither of them dead. But obviously, Chopin did proceed to the third floor because that's where he was killed. So now we're back to where we started.
Back where we started.
No?
You're forgetting one key detail in this new sequence of events. At the
Sosuke
time
was
the
knocked out.
officers reunited on the second floor, Rogers had a knife.
What is that, a knife? No!
My client was already unconscious. Meaning, the only person who had a chance to kill Officer Chopin was, in fact...
None of this shit matters.
Oh no.
This lawyer's trying to accuse me of killing my partner. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would I do something like that?
Okay, so it does feel like we're getting to the, like, final unraveling. The thing is, they don't, like, they have a decent amount of post-trial stuff, or at least they
Yeah.
did last episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I
So-
still think we're not gonna finish today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying I'd be cool with trying to get through this portion and then just saving the post-trial stuff for next time.
I mean, I don't know if we're even gonna get to post-trial stuff.
That's fair.
I don't think we're gonna get to the end of the trial, but we can try to find
All
whatever break in this conversation.
All right.
It depends.
What?
Depends where you live. Not uptown, I assume?
What's it to you?
Single bedroom.
Yeah, whatever.
Not great.
Excuse me?
Your Honor, the defense is negging the witness.
And having to ride around all day with some insufferable, spoiled rich stick in the mud. She's making a lot of assumptions here.
Yeah, I think it... Yeah.
Knowing the whole time that you, your job, your whole goddamn police department... It was all just a bullet point on his resume.
Counsel is badgering the witness in lieu of making an actual argument.
Apologies, Your Honor. I'll state the motive plainly. Prop 492 was corrupt. Blue Bloods and worse would profit off it at the city's expense. But it would also bring economic relief and badly needed repairs to the lower wards. It might also stop the canopy from, just falling down and crushing everyone who lives there. But a climber like Chopin wouldn't care about any of that. Every photo I've seen of this guy, he's had this big, stern frown. And I'll bet he was grinning ear to ear when he found that red ink. Must have made you sick to your stomach. So you killed him, and then you bled him like a pig to try and destroy the documents he'd have plastered all over town.
You're crazy. That's not possible.
Do the people have anything to add? Emma hates losing, but she's not stupid. She must be getting sick of having to cover for this.
Officer Rogers. You were the one who entered the third floor first, weren't you?
What is she doing?
Yes.
How long were you there before your partner alerted you to someone escaping through the alley?
More than 2 minutes. Less than 3.
You had a chance to start looking the room over?
Yes.
And did you see anything as politically explosive as what the defense has described?
No. Nothing of the sort.
Well, that's a lie.
Your Honor, the witness is blatantly lying. We know the documents were there, and we know Chopin found them, because they were found underneath his corpse.
And it is the defense's theory that he was killed because of those documents. Because he would have tried to make them public, essentially.
Yes.
That's the defense's proposed motive for this man to kill his partner.
Yes.
I don't like what we're walking into. I see. But why would he be prepared to kill his partner for reading documents left out on a desk? When he had over 2 minutes to simply get rid of them beforehand.
Oh?
Yeah, good question, Your Honor.
Do we have an answer for it?
I'm getting there. I'll get there. I'm close. His layers are falling off. This is a cold guy. Cold enough to walk into that room, knock out Sosuke, and start calmly looking around. So is he lying? Did he actually see those papers? No, I was right. If the papers were in plain view, he'd have just tucked them into his jacket.
Do we have the cloth as evidence?
Papers were in plain view. I don't think we do, actually. Who were they? I don't remember. I feel like they probably were, but...
Morgan
How did I
dropped them
put
on
Not
the ground.
desk?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
just kinda
dropped them on the ground to spite Creek.
I remember taking them out of Creek's safe and just thinking they were nothing important, so I just...
Them were on the desk.
It's probably how one page got left where it could stick to the bottom of Roger's boot. But before I left, I reorganized things. Tried to make it seem like I was never there.
Because the no mask
Sorry.
cloth, could it have covered things up?
So I stacked things neatly. Yoo-hoo, counselor! Any cuckoos in or around the nest? Pardon me, Your Honor. I was simply overthinking, to be honest. Officer Rogers didn't dispose of the red ink when he had the chance, because he didn't notice the red ink. It's that simple.
A simple answer to a simple question that simply doesn't measure up. If Officer Rogers didn't notice the red ink dots in the 2 minutes he had with the scene, how did his partner discover them so quickly? Well, his partner was looking at the datapad. Neither of them were looking
the datapad was
for...
on top of the documents, so he picked up the datapad to look at it and was like, hey, this stuff is red ink, or something like that.
Hey, wait a minute. Neither of them were looking for illicit government documents at the site of a gang shooting. Neither of them would want to start disturbing a crime scene when there were bodies and blood all around them.
Correct. Rationally, neither officer would want to start making a mess of the scene. Something must have simply caught Officer Chopin's eye. Very bad luck on his part, as it turns out.
You've gotta be... What the hell are you talking about?
What could it have been? Sounds like a tough question to answer, but there aren't as many possibilities to sift through as you'd think, Your Honor.
Datapad.
Because it would have to be something that caught Officer Chopin's eye, yet not that of his partner.
Mhm.
In other words, something at the scene that Officer Rogers wouldn't recognize.
Oh, yeah,
the
because
black-
dark
the
cards,
dark
rich
card, yeah.
people.
Mm,
Yeah, rich people.
Rich guy.
Rich people. Your Honor, this is pointless. If the officers knew this was the site of Orca violence from the silent alarm, and there was blood and corpses all over the damn place, and if the red ink jocks were not in plain sight amidst all that carnage, what could possibly have drawn Officer Chopin's attention to them?
If I need to retrace Chopin's steps specifically, was there anything in the evidence record that he left a trace on? Yep, the datapad,
Well, yeah, the datapad.
which had a dark card in it.
Which had a dark card. I'm just hoping
Or I
the
guess
dark card isn't
the
like...
dark card wasn't in the datapad, right? It was like in the reader.
I mean, it was.
no,
White
found
developed
stuck in the
transformer-
datapad. Yeah, exactly.
No, to rich criminals. Wait, hang on. Before you do that, can you check to make sure they don't have the actual datapad in there?
No.
Broken bat. Okay, no, cool. Yeah, dark card.
When Rogers first entered the crime scene, he must have seen Creek's datapad resting on top of some papers.
You think the red ink documents were beneath the datapad at the time? That might explain why Rogers didn't notice them, but that's only half an answer.
The other question being, why were they there? Then how's this? It wasn't the datapad that drew Chopin's attention, Your Honor. It was the dark card that was stuck inside of it.
The dark card?
Can we get to 400, I wonder? Seems like little more than a fancy credit card to you or I. But if you're rich enough, it's an unmistakable sign of powerful forces at play.
Yeah.
Exactly
Somebody
the kind
look
of thing
into-
that would put a gleam in the eyes of a politically ambitious Officer Chopin.
He's like, this must have been a really, really important crime boss and not allegedly a secretary buying drugs for a party.
Yep. Right up until the moment he saw the bombshell hidden underneath the datapad.
Your Honor, this speculation.
Chopin's prints were discovered on the datapad, Your Honor. We know he must have picked it up. And that datapad was found by police on the desk. so we know he must have put it down. I'm merely proposing that he didn't put it back down in the exact same spot.
And just because this dark card happened...
Hey, seriously. What the hell have you two been talking about?
He doesn't
The
even
shit
know.
is a dark card.
Cryptographically anonymous wallet card that rich people use to buy illegal drugs and gifts for their mistresses. Not common knowledge, unless you ran in circles as high up as the city council.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. I didn't know that. Never heard of that. Assumed you were being literal. It is a dark card. Yeah, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Chopin going around picking up whatever he wanted at a crime scene without even radioing in first. Sounds about right.
Yeah, he seems like kind of a dick.
Bare hands, mouth breathing. Guy was big on following the rules. Just wasn't that good at remembering any of them. Not me, though. I remember every rule. All of them, too. Partner breaks a body cam. I request a new one. Let him use mine. Stop him from getting sued by the next punk he bumps into.
So that's why Chopin wasn't doing his body cam.
Huh. There's a real risk for him. He had money. People would sue him if they could. No one would try to sue Huey Rogers. Only thing the judge could award them would be my own goddamn debts. I don't think I'm bad with money. Just bad with debt. Never seem to get rid of this stuff. But even I'm not so stupid that I wouldn't wear gloves at a goddamn crime scene.
I mean,
You mean...
Obviously, counselor. The minute we pulled up to that building until I was relieved from duty and sent home the next morning, I was wearing gloves.
that doesn't change anything.
Yeah, that really doesn't help your case.
We didn't
anyway.
have anything hinged on your fingerprints,
Yeah, I
idiot.
mean, we hadn't found his fingerprints anywhere. I guess that makes sense now. Sure,
Yeah.
why not? Good for him.
Good for you, buddy.
3 stories in an alleyway. I can swear on my parents' graves I didn't contaminate 1 millimeter of it. Didn't put my greasy fingerprints on the windows, the doors, the murder weapons.
He's like, so you don't have proof, but
You'd never know I was ever there.
man.
So you can say I did this or claim I did that. But the city's only ever gonna hear that some Icarian bastard killed a bunch of blue blood punks. And that Tariq Chopin died a hero, trying to save the day. Right.
Adonai, is that true? Is that possible? Wearing gloves? I didn't know such a thing could be achieved. After all this, is it possible that... But the jury, surely they can see.
The jury will see what the adjutant decides they need to see in order to properly render their verdict. If the adjutant comes to the conclusion that a witness or a line of questioning would only serve to confuse the jury...
80! Your Honor! The jury!
Give me a second to think here, girl. I'm trying to build consensus and basically everyone's mad.
So maybe the adjutant rules in our favor, and maybe the jury sees things our way.
Still not definitive evidence.
But there are no guarantees.
After all that, it just...
Comes down to a gamble. Always does. Yeah. But you still get a chance to sculpt your hand. And I can do a lot better than this pile of shit. Just have to take my licks first.
Oh, interesting.
Your Honor, I disagree.
About what exactly?
About all of it. About everything. Look, we know someone moved from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor via the fire escape because of that scrap of paper. Which would have put them in the perfect position to walk up behind Chopin. And we know Chopin picked up the data pad because his fingerprints are on it. So we can reason Chopin was investigating the desk before he died. And of course, we know he died reading the red ink documents because, duh! His body was found collapsed on top of them. Put all that together and...
Nothing. You still have nothing. Nothing except circumstantial evidence tying this witness to a theoretical sequence of events.
Emma, did you get hit in the head too?
What?
We have Officer Rogers' fingerprints on the murder weapon.
Okay, interesting. What? Oh.
Go on, unless they think your hand is crap. Put on a show. Ooh.
God. I mean, we have the one option, so...
Where's she going with this?
Cutscene Morgan, take us away.
It's on the pistol he used to bludgeon my client, of course.
What? What are you... No, they aren't. As he said, he was wearing gloves. Also, that gun was never fired. What are you talking about? Well, it's a good thing we have so many chips. Cutscene Morgan.
Yeah. Shoot, I meant to mixed up. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
That's right, the bat. Do you think we would
Oh,
notice
God.
you left your fingerprints on it just because it was broken into splinters?
The baseball bat used on Trey? Forensics failed to pull a single print from that. Is that your idea of a joke?
Geez, take it easy. I misspoke a little.
I guess the answer is we're not getting to 400.
Also, I don't have my reading glasses.
What?
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
The magus that was used to kill Tanksome Creek. Pretty stupid to forget to wipe your prints off a piece that gaudy, don't you think?
Counselor, what is this? Are you throwing a tantrum? Making a mockery of the courtroom? The only prints on that gun belong to Sosuke Ikaria.
Oh. Sorry. Guess I was thinking of another case.
Is there perhaps a gas leak on the other side of the courtroom?
The blade.
The blade.
Well, don't I feel stupid? What I've been trying to say is that Officer Rogers failed to notice that he left his fingerprints on the most important weapon of all.
Just trying to goad him into saying he was wearing gloves while he didn't.
The very blade that took his partner's life.
Make him angry.
Enough of this embarrassment. What the hell's wrong with you? I knew a mob lawyer would be corrupt and vile. But how can you be such a stupid bimbo? Ooh. Do you think we're all idiots? My fingerprints aren't all that on that goddamn knife, and you know it.
What did she say? What did she say? Oh, come on, bring up the... Come on, please. Game, why are you not... Oh, because I guess we're in like a cutscene thing. We can't pull up the UI. Oh, well. But I'm pretty sure we didn't say it was a knife.
Okay, yeah, no, the blade. The blade, because she didn't even bring up Yoru.
Yeah. My mistake. I can see here that, yes, I was misreading the fine details. And it does appear that your fingerprints are not on that knife. Sorry.
You...
Oh, dear.
What? What? What is it?
Oh, I guess we're all just wondering. How long have you known it was this knife that was used to kill your partner?
Nice. What?
I kind of feel like we are getting into like endgame territory. We should probably.
Yeah. So
I think we're
guess
just
the
gonna end
question-
here. It's a little bit awkward, but I don't want to get into
Yeah.
like the whole big dramatic showdown.
There's gonna be some kind of post-trial for sure. But
Yeah, I mean, I think we're not done with the confrontation either, but we're almost done. I think we're very close.
This feels like the final knife in the back, so to speak.
Yeah.
You goddamn moron. We never
Do we
said
end
it was
here,
a fucking
or
knife.
do we go a little bit? This is like the end of the trial. I don't know. Can we make it to the end then?
If we want to
I
get to the
don't
end
know.
of the trial, I'm fine with that, and we can handle the post case Thursday.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll try to go for the end of the trial then. You're minutes away. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the end of the trial then, and then leave
End of the trial.
leave after trial for Thursday. All right. Decision made. Let's go. Confused. So are these two. Oh, because they weren't there when we talked about the knife. Were they? Were they? I think they were, actually.
Yeah, no, they were gone when we talked to Han. But
Because like you,
Oh.
neither of them were in the courtroom when Dr. Sato updated her autopsy report.
I assumed
Yeah, they were sent away
were
for
back in the
Han, but I
courtroom.
guess, yeah, they
just
weren't here
stayed
for Sato
away.
either.
I sort of assumed they were there.
You want a
All right.
specific thing? Not really. I think, if we're near the end of the trial, then we can finish up. If you have
End of the trial is a good stopping
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
if you have concerns about that, then sure, but otherwise, like, we don't need to go into any more specifics.
Yeah.
So I knew that Chopin was killed with a knife. And the people knew that Chopin was killed with a knife. But how did you know that? There must have been 50 cops in here when that doctor...
Nope.
Far fewer than 50, actually. More like 0. He had already emptied the courtroom by then. A courtesy we extended to a blue blood witness. You're some blue blood rat. You. Oh, are we doing it? Crazy harpy! Trying to trick me at the last second? Think I walked in here prepared? No, of course not. She, right there. Rockford, the prosecutor. Before I took the stand, she told me all about the knife. It was news to her too, buddy. Ah,
The question is Emma gonna lie for him?
so that's your plan? Right, Rockford. Before I came out here, didn't you? It's always great to reveal a full house and rake in the pot. It's even better to reveal a handful of shit you bluffed your way to victory with. Say something already. Just say it. But every now and then, a different kind of victory comes along. Where you just get to sit back and watch someone else self-destruct. Because they completely misread the dealer. Say it. Say that you... Oh.
Shut up!
What?
Just shut up. Is that so hard? Are my instructions unclear? Do you need me to salute you first? Stop talking. You are completely, utterly, 100% guilty.
Oh my god.
Why the hell would I perjure myself to help you?
But...
Hey, start counting. Because from this second on, every word that comes out, comes out of your mouth adds directly to the number of years you're gonna rot in jail. Unless those words are your confession.
He's the Hound of Vicaria. He murders for the mob. We could put him away.
They don't want to put him away. Not for your crime. Not for murdering the son of 2 city councilmen have you lost your goddamn mind.
He's a murderer. Well, not all murderers are created equally.
Well, not all murderers are hunted equally. Neobility assassinating each other, let it ride, keeps them divided. Orcas fighting in the lower wards, let them sort it out, keeps their numbers down. A monster shoots 6 women in the heart and leaves no evidence behind.
Hmm?
Call us back when he kills someone important.
I...
Strange. Once she's properly infuriated, there's usually no stopping her. Well, if she's not going to twist the knife herself, I shouldn't let it go to waste. Your Honor, if the witness is having trouble choosing a place to start for his confession, perhaps I might help by laying out the details for him.
You sadistic bitch.
He was counting on Emma to step in. Now he's sliding down the rocky face of despair. Fingernails split and bloody as he attempts in vain to slow the descent. Not very dignified, so I won't leave him hanging. I'll be happy to speed him along.
In summary...
Well,
A week ago, you acquired a blue blood distress signal when you arrested Tanks, but your partner insisted on letting him go and keeping the code to yourselves. So the night of the murder, when the alarm went out, you jumped at the chance to be the first unit on the scene at what could be a gang shootout. You did all you could to stall, but your partner pressed on, and even shot open the door in his hurry to get into the locked building. You made up an excuse to keep him on the 2nd floor, and proceeded to the 3rd on your own, relieved that everyone was already dead. And puzzled by the delirious Sosuke being knocked out with one blow to the back of the head. But by calling down to your partner to convince him you were already too late, you alerted an orca hiding downstairs. And when they fled out the window and down into the alley, you opened the windows at the crime scene to give chase. While you were scanning the alley from the 2nd floor fire escape, your partner proceeded upstairs, where he was just as stunned as you were, but intrigued by the presence of a dark card you'd never recognize. He knew that it pointed towards the involvement of powerful parties. It was simply bad luck that he found the red ink before you. But he must have felt like he'd won the lottery. He was the one man in the city who'd benefit the most from exposing the corruption it hinted at. He must have been salivating at the opportunity, right in front of you. Standing in the blood without a second thought. You had taken the knife from Sosuke. Hadn't even thought about it up until that point. You knew, once the rest of the force arrived, there'd be no stopping the red ink from going on the record. You had one chance to blot it out for good.
That's all. It's all a lie. Smoke and mirrors, tricks and guesswork. Hound Vicari is standing right there next to you. The Blue Bloods themselves even tried to kill him, right in front of all of us.
No. That's not what you said earlier.
No, they didn't.
Excuse me?
I have it on very good authority the Blue Bloods wouldn't want my client assassinated.
Oh, I'm sure.
So considering where the shooter was, and the direction he was aiming, the only person he couldn't have been aiming at would be, well... you!
What the hell are you talking about?
Seems like the old guard wanted to make sure there'd be a swift punishment for letting Prop 492 blow up. So you can keep protesting your innocence if you want. It might work out. And you might be able to avoid the next Blue Blood to come after you, and the next after that. You might survive just long enough to end up the only casualty in a tragically unavoidable case of friendly fire.
You're...
Blue's coming after you from above and below. Who gets there first is a coin toss, so tell me. You feel lucky? Well? Any questions?
You end this DA. You're...
Officer?
Your lovers.
You're both... You're all... out of your damn minds! Fold.
So it turns out beneath that there was a deeper layer that was exactly the same as the first.
Yep.
Like with pie.
Do you work for the Blue Bloods?
Never thought of it that way. Even back when I was a kid, I thought they were just another institution. Like a neighborhood watch. People looking out for each other. Everyone's parents off working or enlisted or in jail for civil disobedience. Whole neighborhoods that cops, medics, goddamn firemen wouldn't set foot in. Didn't see it as transactional. Thought I was just lending a hand. My blood ain't worth shit. I wasn't useful enough to be a young blood. Not good looking enough to be a host. But I kept going to school. They helped me pay for it. Because it was, in fact, transactional. They expected to get something in return. Police Academy. Their man on the inside. Wasn't as exciting as it sounds. I made sure it wasn't. Test scores sucked. Aptitudes sucked. Clumsy and boring. I made sure no one would want to give me anything important to do. Valuable enough that the Blue Bloods wouldn't out me. Not valuable enough that the cops would give me anything worth passing on. The world's worst double agent. So bad at his job, he'd never be expected to double-cross anyone. Imagine the look on my face when my reputation for nothingness gets me paired up with the worst babysitting job on the force.
Tariq Chopin.
We were perfectly matched, in a way. I didn't want to be near nothing, and nobody wanted to let him near anything. Nothing dangerous enough to get him hurt. Nothing real enough that he'd go blabbing to his dad's. We went around to schools. Those are the jobs we'd get.
Building security?
No, it sounds more like they were giving talks.
Turn, youth pastor. Turn the chair around, so.
Telling the kids what cops do. Here's how to call for help. We were a goddamn joke.
There are worse things to be.
You think I don't know that? You think I gave a shit that kids were laughing at us in the back of the class? The teens were throwing soda cans at our car. Good for them. At least they were having fun. Tariq was never having fun. He was just burning inside. Humiliation and bile. A stomach full of it. If he hadn't found the code on tanks that day, I don't know. I would have either put in his 2 weeks notice or just drawn his gun and walked into the nearest Orca mansion.
So when you two arrived at the building...
Happened like the defense attorney said. I told Chopin some bullshit about smelling contraband on the 2nd floor. He started poking around, and I went straight to the 3rd floor because that's where the bosses would hang out back when I was a kid. Where they'd give us spare change to buy their groceries and pick up their laundry. Never met this creek or this pod in my life until we stopped at Anchor 10. Different gens. I've never seen anything like the bloodbath in that room. All 4 of the pod were dead when I got there.
He probably did assume Sosuke didn't.
Yeah. Believe me, don't believe me. I ain't no Hound Vicaria, and I don't even think he could have
Oh.
done that either.
Never mind, Morgan's just built different.
Considering how he stumbled out of that water closet like a bloody water balloon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did whack him on the back of the head, but my hand to God, I'm not convinced it did anything. Face down in the blood, out like that, couldn't have woke him up with a nuke. When the Hound dropped, I searched him, followed protocol, found that knife in his hand. I called down, said everyone was dead. That blue blood bolted, Tariq called after them. And yeah, I opened the window and tried to follow. I guess Tariq didn't know the ladder was out. Figured I would chase him, because by the time I stepped back inside, he was upstairs. And I walked up those steps, expecting him to be puking, crying, shaking. I don't know. Instead, he starts yelling down, happy, ecstatic. He can't believe this! Scoop of the century! And I realize I know what he's talking about.
The Blue Blood superiors let you know about Prop 492.
Lots of people knew the deal with Prop 492. Even non-blooded civvies. Nothing wrong with any of that, so long as it stayed a rumor. So long as the state didn't know we knew where the pillars were going to be built. It was a nice thing, believe it or not. People in the lower wards whispering about Big Bunny coming in. A little excitement to look forward to. Tariq was excited, too. All he could see was forward. Barely reading the words in front of his eyes. Not giving a shit about anything behind him. Not caring about what he was trampling over. I didn't plan on doing anything, if that matters. If you care. I was moving slow, but I wasn't trying to hide. I just... After taking it off the Hound, I still had that knife. That goddamn knife in my hand. You all seem like educated people, so... I take it none of you all believe in evil.
What does that mean?
Morgan's like, I plead the fifth.
We believe in evil down in the lower wards. It's like a fog. Hangs around certain people, places. And it poured off that knife like a water fountain.
The devil made you do it? Haven't heard that one in a while.
If it wasn't for that dark card being there. You know, Tariq told me once. Said he wanted to become mayor. I just did this stupid fake laugh and told him he had my vote. I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have done that.
Laughed at him?
Maybe played along with him.
Encouraged him.
Shouldn't have lied to him.
Well. And so, Your Honor, the people will be dismissing the charge of homicide in the first degree with prejudice.
What does that mean?
They can't charge you with Officer Chopin's murder they can't charge you with Officer Chopin's murder again at a later date just because they found more evidence.
And the 4 other charges of second-degree homicide?
We will be dismissing the 4 charges of second-degree homicide without prejudice.
So she's not quite convinced I couldn't have killed Creek's pod.
Miller's blood, having already been on the knife he used to get free in the first place, was pretty huge. Combined with Rogers admitting that you basically stumbled out a walking corpse.
But
the way the state sees it, their murders aren't any more solved than they were at the beginning of this trial.
So weird. We've got so many unsolved murders in this city.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
It's to be expected. Then the jury will be dismissed. This court will be adjourned. And you, Mr. Ikaria, are free to go. Harrowing. Our lovable pod's murders get swept under the rug. Sad.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Who
Couldn't
would
have
have
seen
guessed?
this coming. Everything that's happened to you the last few days. How is that leaving you so shocked? I'm not shocked. I'm just... He smiled. Oh,
He's smiling.
I'm just grateful, counselor. You have my...
Your Honor, is there perhaps something else you wanted to say?
Well, if you insist. I guess, for some reason, even though the jury's been dismissed and it's actually their job to do this part and the charges were dropped, I have a strong, overwhelming urge to say not guilty.
Hooray! Confetti!
No, that needs to be much bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe, I cast ye innocent. No, that sounds dumb.
All right. We did it, gang!
Please don't freeze the game.
Oh no.
Oh my god, we have not
Oh
saved.
no.
Please do not freeze. Please do not
Oh,
crash.
no.
Oh my god, please.
Oh
Oh, are we back?
no. Okay.
Are we okay?
Are we okay?
I'm gonna save right now.
Save.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, apparently I can't. Okay.
Oof.
Okay, let's save.
All right.
And we're calling the stream here. All right.
That
come on,
seems
come on,
like
please.
the end
Okay, we're done.
of
We're
this
done.
stream.
That's it for the stream. All right.
Now we just have
made
to
it through the
figure out.
case.
Now we just have to figure out, like, what the hell's up with the rest of that cast of characters then? Ray, are you ever coming back?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff.
Makoto? Are we
All
getting
that familiar
answers?
drama we got vindication for was for nothing.
I'm like, come on, we fucking nailed that the second it showed up. And it's like, we didn't even have to work around it, is the thing. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
there
just
is no point where
straight
Morgan
up did
had to
not
be
come up.
creative. And
Oh,
I'm like,
boy.
are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I wanted Sosuke to nearly throw himself on that sword. I wanted to see that man emotionally broken.
Yeah.
I wanted to pull an Edgeworth, goddammit.
Good stuff, though.
It's like, it's weird. This is not actually the first time in an Ace Attorney franchise we have like huge shattering familial secrets that just get sat on for ages. I'm like, no, this is actually giving me flashbacks. What the hell? For nothing.
Yep. All for nothing.
And it really
I am
was
really interested
the
to see how
ones-
much of it will come back up. Because, like, last time we had, you know, all the AI stuff that didn't come up, and, like, that's
We have the
clearly
AI
building
stuff,
up for
which-
later.
Yeah,
I really
I've
wonder if
gotta
we're going to
believe
see
that's
more of
gonna-
these characters later.
yeah,
I'm sure some
it's-
things will be discussed now in the wrap-up, but...
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
like, and we've still got, because again, that card at the scene of the crime, that was an optional thing we could pick up. But the fact that it's there, that's not there for no reason. Like, Creek didn't just write Mireille's name on a card randomly. So, yeah, there's stuff that could be revisited at a later date. It's
Very
just
intriguing.
like, we've got a lot of long-running plots, frankly. We've got, you know,
Yeah.
Heartbreak Killer,
Mhm.
whoever that mysterious person is.
I really wonder
what's gonna
if
happen to
Emma is
them.
going to connect these murders to the Heartbreak Killer.
Emma's like marking down evil wafting off knife. Heartbreak?
Exactly, yeah.
Investigate scientific evidence of evil.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Whew. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
Yeah, the stream's gone pretty long, so let's
it's
end things here. So
Yes.
next time we're gonna wrap up the post-trial conversation, and I'm assuming there's gonna be like bonuses again, so we can go through those next
that's
time.
true. We could do that. Yeah.
So Yeah.
Rogers, you motherfucker. It's always the ones you most
Yep.
suspect, and then you stop suspecting them, and then you suspect them again.
Find
So
out next time on
nothing.
Of the Devil, yeah. All right.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah. Next time will be the conclusion of episode 2, probably. Presumably.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, like I said, feel free to, give me art stream suggestions and fundraiser suggestions and whatever else you guys have any ideas that you want to throw my way. Dev in chat, what?
Oh,
Or are you a dev?
wait.
AA renders or whoever?
Oh, holy shit.
Or somebody? I do not recognize devs in chat, but I might just not recognize people, so apologies if that is the case.
Yeah, hello.
All right. Yeah, well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys are having fun. I've been really enjoying the game.
It's
So-
fun game.
Yeah, well,
Whoa.
thank you for coming. And I guess thank you for your work on this game. It's been
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
time. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Fun game, fun
All
time.
right. Yeah, well, see you guys on Thursday for wrap up. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye.